right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 The Fan. And the Fan Sports Network. Hello, happy hump day. Good morning.
What is happening?
It's a little Wednesday morning for you.
Off to a good start over there?
I think we're off to a good start. I've been stuck in the vortex of conversation that lingers for a couple days now.
Ooh.
On youth sports.
Ah, yes. It's very debated right now with Team USA bailing out early. Brings everybody's eyes onto the youth soccer program in America.
Well, it's not even so much, I mean, it is a soccer conversation, but like it's also largely just a where we're at as a country with youth sports conversation, and as somebody involved in youth sports.
Right. I'm going to go out on a limb and say not a good spot.
I think there can be good spots.
Of course.
There are good spots, but I
Yes.
think largely not very good. And then I was wondering yesterday in reading about stuff and seeing comments on a lot, has there ever been a person attached to a sport that is like overwhelmingly universally hated as much as Alexi Lawless in soccer?
That is a really good question.
I couldn't come up with one in football.
That is a really good question.
I could not come up with one in basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know who it would be in baseball.
Involved with an individual sport, I don't think so.
Like a lead voice of a sport.
Yes.
Being
a lead analyst, lead studio guy.
Look,
yeah.
Everybody, no matter how or what you think of Alexi Lawless or anybody else on that level, there is always going to be like a 1 to 2% of people that are like, I actually love him. I think he's great.
Of course.
But he has to be at a 96+%
right.
hate rate. Right?
I asked that to Patrick yesterday because we were talking about something he would, him and Thierry Henry were going back and forth, and he's been controversial to say the least throughout the course of the tournament. I don't watch a ton of soccer outside of the World Cup. And I asked Patrick, like, is this like a thing where outside people hate him, but soccer fans like him? And he said, no, soccer fans hate him too.
It's a universal.
So it's the outside people hate him and the people inside the bubble hate him.
Yep.
There's obviously your like your Stephen A. Smiths, your Skip Bayless, not involved in an individual sport,
No.
different conversation. There are your, play-by-player color analysts that people don't like, but I feel like that's a different kind of don't like. Like Tony Romo. People don't think Tony Romo is very good at his job. That to me is different than not liking Alexi Lawless for being controversial as a studio analyst. You just want him to be better as a color analyst.
So the best comp I could come up with Alexi Lawless is he Kendrick Perkins or is he Kenny Smith? Because when you put him on a dais,
right,
like you put Kenny Smith on that dais with Shaq and Barkley,
of course.
Kenny Smith was the Jaylen Brown of his era. He's maybe the 7th best player on a team.
Very good career, but he's
best.
not Shaq and he's not Charles
a
Barkley.
Great role guy, and he capitalized
Won
in
a
his
championship.
moments, right?
Yes, of course.
He is that level.
Yeah.
Like when you put Alexi Law, and he might even that might even be too high because
That might be
Alexi only
offensive,
played
sure,
very briefly in the MLS.
Comparing him to Ibrahimovic and Thierry Henry, that's
crazy.
Yes, those are not the same category of player.
That's
one is one of the greatest of all time. The other was a dominant force for a long time.
That'd be like putting Michael Kid Gilchrist on the dais with LeBron and Michael Jordan.
Yes, it'd be very similar to that.
And he's pushing back against Michael. What would you know, Michael?
Yeah,
what would you know?
Yeah,
like,
do you know what you're talking about? I think I know a little bit of what I'm talking about.
That's MJ to you, bitch.
I'm going to throw one at you, and I'll see if Swag agrees with this or not. And I don't know how all fans feel about him, but I know there is a general frustration and dislike from the vibes that I see that I think Brandel Chambly is a little bit of this in golf.
A little bit of it, yeah.
He's not to the level of universally disliked,
level.
but as I'm just trying to think of people of even inside the bubble. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like everything that Brandel Chambly says. There's times I'm like, oh, that's kind of a good point.
Yeah.
But he's more of as McDonald will say, he's a bit of a chotch, and he can be a bit of a chotch on TV.
Yeah.
And he kind of knows his role, and he plays his role. And so of all the ones that I could think of, that's probably the strongest one of the analysts of the sport who's the lead. Like, golf tournament's over, and then you go to the Golf Channel, he's the lead analyst talking about it every single week. And I would say it's 75-25 dislike to like ratio. But I think that's a little Lawless is on a different level than that.
The only other one I could come up with in hoops was Perkins. Mm-hmm. Because even if Kenny Smith isn't as accomplished a player as Shaq and Charles,
sure.
He doesn't dabble in the crazy, outlandish takes. He doesn't.
No. He's not a hot take guy.
He's an X's and O's at halftime, and
yes,
he offers some insight from a unique perspective compared to those two guys. I think it'd have to be Kendrick Perkins in basketball because Kendrick Perkins cannot be. I think he's a higher, more liked guy than Lawless, but
yes,
we also all know with brains that right. You throw something at Kendrick and you say, "I need you to throw that against the wall."
Right,
he'll do it.
He'll do it. You want a crazy take? I'll give you a crazy take today.
Yeah,
you need me to say something dumb that everybody can react to? I'll say the dumb thing.
You need me to say that I think Kyle Kuzma could be the third best player on a title team?
I'll do it.
I'll do it right now. And he literally said it last year.
And then everybody yells online, and he gets exactly what he wants out of the entire thing. It's a process that keeps playing itself over and over again.
Who would footballs be?
God, that's a good question.
Is it a college football guy, or is there an NFL version of that?
A college football guy.
Because here's the unfortunate thing. The numbers would suggest I'm wrong here.
Sure.
But I think nobody watches the pre-games. I think people just turn the channels on so they don't miss the kickoff. If you're not watching Red Zone Countdown, you're watching CBS or Fox because you don't buy the Red Zone or the Sunday Ticket.
Right.
I think the numbers would say, well, at Sprague, you're wrong. There's 7 million people watching CBS pregame according to these numbers. And I'd say, no, they have the television on. I don't think you actually sit down and watch pregame.
Yeah, I think there's a difference, too, I think there's a time difference between viewers. Like, I think on the East Coast, those shows are a bigger deal because the morning slate, or early slate, I should say.
Is the afternoon.
It doesn't start till 1 o'clock, and so you got more lead up, and then maybe by the time noon rolls around, you're like, dude, I'm so ready for football that I'm willing to watch an hour pregame show.
Right.
I think we're a little bit different on the West Coast because it's a get up, get your stuff done, game start at 10 o'clock. I turn the channel on at 9:45, and I saw the last 15 minutes of the show because I'm just waiting for the games to start.
I think the only ones that you can rival some of this stuff.
I'm trying to think of
Orlovsky is a Lawless.
Yeah.
He's more liked.
Yeah.
But if you're comping careers, I mean, his only accomplishment is running out of the back of the end zone away from Jared Allen.
There's not a lot there for Dan Orlovsky in his NFL career.
He is the Alexi Lawless of accomplished pro athlete on a dais of Ryan Clark or Michael Irving.
Sure, guys, guys who had tremendous careers and long NFL careers, some in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Is Terry Bradshaw up there for people?
He's got 4 rings.
I know I'm talking about unlikable, though, not the quality of the player.
No, I think people are like, okay, he's kind of done, but I think most people...
I've gotten to the point where it's just like...
No, there's a lot of people that really love Terry Bradshaw.
I think it's a 65% hit rate.
He's kind of your lovable uncle that's starting to. You wonder when he's ready to.
Isn't he Lee Corso to a certain degree? For a
funny,
segment
goofy.
Of NFL
he's got
fans.
a Peaky Blinders hat on.
He's been in movies. And,
that's fair. I'm trying to think of it because this is the funny part is I don't watch any other NFL pregame shows. Like I could probably run through the list of people.
Bill Cowher is not Alexi Lawless.
No, he's not in any way. Fox is. Well, I think you got Gronk on there.
I mean, there is none. There are none on those shows. And by the way, nobody's watching that show at the level that we're watching World Cup stuff.
No. Yeah. Pat McAfee in college football can be controversial to some, but he's also beloved by so many people that he doesn't count in this category
Far
either.
and away out of this conversation.
And he's I think he's been a direct driver of College Game Day's ratings going up is because the show's more energetic.
That's why he got $60 million a year.
Exactly. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, I don't think there's any other comp. I don't think I can find one.
What is Kirk Herbstreit's likability rating, you think?
It's a lot lower than it was probably 5 years ago. I think his is on the decline. But, again, I don't think he's to that level quite yet.
He's not Lawless level.
He's not Lawless level, but it's certainly going in that direction. And if he continues, maybe it will get there for some. But he's maybe the best. Like I can't stand Urban Meyer. I think he's a bit of a fraud and he's a sleazy guy, and so he's on that pregame show. I'm not saying he's Alexi Lawless.
Does he say anything that's crazy?
No, I personally
don't like Urban Meyer either.
I can't stand him, but it's not for the Alexi Lawless reasons where he's giving you hot takes and yelling stuff out. Portnoy's probably this because he's on the Big Noon Kickoff show. Technically, as a fill-in guy.
I am not a Dave Portnoy fan in any way. I mean,
you're not going to buy his book? What's the matter with you?
He's writing a book.
He got a book out. You want to go buy his book?
What's the book about?
Cancel me if you can. Yeah,
cancel me if you can.
Can't cancel me, baby.
I love the I've been canceled guy when it's pretty evident he hasn't been canceled.
You can't cancel me. I'm uncancelable. Try canceling me.
I always enjoy that.
Good luck out there.
Many a comedian have built their careers on. I've been canceled, but welcome to my Madison Square Garden show on Netflix.
I saw clips the other day rolling around. The Louis C.K.'s got a new comedy special out.
I saw a little bit of it.
Like, oh, Louis C. Okay, I don't know if he's done a handful, but we're back in the mix now, huh?
It's
yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the canceled, not canceled thing. You want to sit in a corner and make people feel uncomfortable and pull your pants down. You do what you need to do, I guess. I was just in it for like the joke telling.
Pull your pants up, all right?
And I just was like,
underwhelming, huh?
I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah.
The
one joke I saw.
I really enjoyed his TV show back in the day on FX.
I did too.
Louis.
I did love Louis back in the day. Yeah, there was one joke about strangers talking to him and him telling strangers to shut up. And I'm like, all right, this just kind of feels like the old man yelling at a cloud bit. I don't know if that still plays.
He had a bit on people that when the sun is out.
It's a nice day.
And
Grow up.
Shut up. And then people pulled clips, and it was like him on a late show, and he's like, sometimes the sun's out, and it just makes it a better day, doesn't it? It's like, that was 10 years ago.
What's changed for you, Louis? Are you a little more hardened now, a little more angry? It is, like, the Alexi Lawless thing is hilarious.
Dude,
and it has been one of the most compelling storylines, honestly, for me the entire tournament, is him getting into it with Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic insinuating that he got kicked off the desk for like a show or two, saying, "You're welcome, America." The Thierry Henry facial expressions when him and Zlatan were going back and forth. And then it was reversed the other night when Thierry Henry got into it with him about the president calling and overturning the red card. And Ibrahimovic's face the entire time was hilarious. He's just sitting in between the two of them, smirking and smiling. Like, what are we doing right now?
Well, yesterday
ludicrous.
He tweeted about youth soccer in America because, of course, that becomes the conversation anytime we underwhelm or we get...
You mean literally every World Cup because every World Cup's the same?
Do you know we're the only host country to host multiple World Cups and never get to the quarterfinals or better?
That's not good, Bob.
I learned that yesterday. And I was like, well, that's kind of sad.
I saw a graphic and was reminded of literally in the last 4 World Cups we've played in. Now, we missed, 2018, I think was the one we missed. Yeah. That was a disaster. But in 14, like you go through the list of all of them, we've gone to the same round every time. And there's this insinuation and feeling that we took some big step this year when in reality we lost by a wider margin in the round of 16 than we had the last 3 times that we were there.
Well, I mean, it's just it's basically begged the question of, like, how do you make your youth programs? I think this for any sport, really, but how do you make them better for everybody, and also how do you make it that improves?
It's really complicated because it feels like the toothpaste is so far out of the tube that there's no putting that toothpaste back in the tube.
I think you could say that for almost anything in society.
Yes,
sadly.
Good luck fixing this because it is so far down the road, man, and you can't turn that thing around.
You want data centers to go away? Do you imagine that's what's going to happen with those big-ass buildings? They're just going to cease to exist?
You win. Okay, fine. We'll close them all down.
But he was, like, super in on the business element of youth sports, and obviously people just dunked on him all day, and
it's always hard because I'm certainly not an expert on this. Maybe I'll know more about it in the years to come when Teddy gets older. But on the things that you read and you try and like dive in, like what is it actually like in youth soccer? And it was crazy to read some of the stuff, and you kind of pointed out, was it Norway and the way that they run their youth programs?
Yeah, they basically just created programs that don't charge you $14,000 a year. Like a lot of European clubs operate in the sense of kids can earn the amount of money that a club would cost by the way they play.
Right.
They're basically given all of these opportunities that many and millions of kids in America never will, because it's like, how much is your travel team? Well, it's $2,000 for this season, then it's $3,000 for that season, and then on top of the travel cost, we got to go to Arizona and California and
never ends.
Go into a tournament in Texas. And I'm like, unless your kid is the super gifted kid who gets picked to be on the LeBron James AAU team for free and they comp travel, that's less than 0.001% of kids who get that opportunity.
And it was reading about other countries on top of Norway and the way that they handle the youth player essentially being the customer, and the idea that they're compensated. It's like literally the opposite in a lot of European countries with their youth academy soccer programs, that they pay the kids to play for their program.
Yeah.
Because if you turn that player into X, Y, and Z quality of a prospect, and he goes and signs with a European club or whatever, guess who's getting paid?
Exactly.
The program that developed him. And in America, it's literally the opposite, where the customer is not the kid, the customer is the parent. And as long as you're doing enough to entice the parent to want to spend $15,000 a year, guess what doesn't stop? Your business model.
Yeah.
And it's just a backwards way of looking at it, where all these places in Europe have figured out that because then you pour yourself into the player even more, because that's your golden ticket. If you turn this kid into a guy who wants to go, sign with Manchester City, you're getting a lot of money out of that deal. And guess what funds your youth academy? That, turning the player into the prospect. Mm-hmm. And here it's the opposite. And there's a drive of not even wanting to cut kids because they're customers and they're spending $15,000 a year to be a part of your youth academy. And so you don't get rid of some of the riffraff. It splits off of kids who can afford it and who can't afford it at a really pivotal age. Like by the time you get to 11 or 12, the idea of you can't spend this, you can't play on our team, that's like the peak development years of your youth athletic career.
Well, I noticed, coaching at a club and coaching youth sports in the last couple of years, I noticed a lot of things about the culture of it. I'd never really been around it. When I was in high school, you had some camp stuff, and I know you had youth teams, but we didn't participate in that. My mom wasn't going to shell out for that, so it was I never was on that stuff.
No.
You'd play in your summer leagues for your high school if they had it, or camp if they provided it. But
baseball was the same back in the day.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'd heard in basketball, women's basketball, because that's the only one I can speak of because I'm not involved in men, but I imagine it's somewhat similar. And I just saw an interview with Julie Ertz, the former U.S. women's soccer player.
Yes.
And they were talking about how even when they were in high school, they were being driven in soccer to not play high school, that they were
do club instead of the
just
school.
Do club.
Yeah.
And I've noted that in basketball, I've talked to enough people to just conclude that you're not getting a 90% dropout rate, but you're getting really good players around the country that are kind of being told yo, we're going to give you a scholarship.
What's the point?
Why don't you play for this travel team and not play for your high school? They're deprioritizing.
Right. Go play in your showcase events against better talented
Go play at
players.
Arizona in December. Don't be playing for your high school team against your arch rival down the road. Nobody cares about that anymore.
In the neighborhood you grew up in. Why would you want to do that?
And that's a sad thing to me, because I think that's an element of growing up that we shouldn't be taking away from children.
Right.
And making their parents feel well, if I don't do this, what's going to happen?
You got to keep up with the Joneses, right? That kid's going to get a scholarship. I want my kid to get a scholarship.
Well, I saw people jumping into the fray on this topic of developing youth soccer, and many people pointed out, whether it's accurate to some or most, you're getting a lot of kids and we're driving them to D1 Academy, to D1 schools, go play soccer at Oregon or Oregon State. And it's not that you can't become a really good pro from those places, but where are most of the pros scouted from?
Right.
Europe. International.
Yes.
South America. Argentina has youth programs. I think I read yesterday they have a youth program here.
In the United States.
For kids who can be dual citizens of America and Argentina.
You got to do what you got to do, baby.
And our guy Bart Winkler in Milwaukee, he's doing his podcast, and his kid is in youth sports, and he's under 13 U.S. soccer does not care about U.S. Soccer World Cup. They care about beating the other team across state lines.
Yes, that's all that matters to
them.
So
it's all about just bleeding.
And what their bottom line is and what the parents are paying. That's all that matters to them. And as long as that is the case, nothing is going to change. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to forget about this in about a month. The World Cup will come to an end. We'll crown a champion. Football season will get here.
Yeah.
4 years from now, we'll have another World Cup, and the Team USA will get to the round of 16 and take a dump in their pants, and we'll have the exact same conversation of why is this broke? Because this has been the exact same thing we've done every 4 years of my adult life.
I just think even if you are ready for soccer to be done as a topic, because most of our audience isn't diehard soccer fans, totally fine to have the opinion. My takeaway is more just shouldn't this event that made us feel so good, and gave us entertainment yesterday, Switzerland beating Colombia, in a PK.
That was a great. Both games were unbelievable.
Argentina
yesterday.
With 3 goals in a 6-minute span.
Dude. Poor Egypt.
Egypt just choking on the net. Even if we've enjoyed this and USA had a fun ride, you still got to the same spot you always get to. You disappointed at home. Your effort was crap. This should be more of a conversation, not so much about soccer, but shouldn't these moments I feel used to motivate our country.
Yes, to push us in the right direction of how do we need to sit down and figure out answers to this problem.
Education's very similar to me. I know it's much more important than sports, but where you rank in the world, that used to be a thing I'd hear about as a kid.
Right. We're 91st in reading.
Wait,
what?
We want to be first in science and math, and now it's the money. The money. Right. None of it is prioritized. No. My takeaway yesterday from Alexi Lawless was I got kind of obsessed with thinking about it and being a part of youth sports and then reading people's commentary just in soccer because I'm not familiar with it.
Right.
It's certainly something, man. I have people in my life, in my orbit, that like their kids do year-round soccer, and single parents, I don't know how they afford it. I don't know how they do it,
man. I don't.
And their kids are really good, but they're not being given a free ride to all of this stuff.
Right. It's one thing if you end up getting a college scholarship out of it that saves your family hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then maybe it's all worth it. But if not, that's a lot of money to spend just to have a good little local soccer player.
Well, I was asking. We have people in our building that are connected to youth sports, and I was asking them not very long ago. Like, I'm just shocked as a basketball guy that we don't have academies here.
Yeah.
Like our Portland Fire coach, Alex Sarama, I learned about him through like reading about some of his stuff online. He became very popular at a young age. I think he's like 31 or 32.
Super young guy,
Dude,
yeah.
He's been coaching at academies in Europe forever, and they just have straight sports academies. And it's okay to not want your kid to be in a sports academy. I'm just shocked we haven't gotten to that, but it's also about the do-re-mi in this country.
Exactly.
And not so much about like the development
and
process of it.
That's like because I'm with you. This used to be a thing where we'd come together and find some answers for it. The tough part is the answers mean a lot of businesses have to take a loss. Or shutter their doors.
Right,
and you're just not going to get people to say, sure, end my livelihood that I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars on. I would gladly do this for the betterment of Team USA 4 years from now in the World Cup. Like, you're just not going to get people that want to do that. And so that's a difficult part of it. And that's why it feels like as a lot of things do in this country, a daunting problem that we're not going to be able to solve because of that fundamental flaw.
Yeah, so it's just been stuck on my mind the last, 24 hours.
It's a fun thing to debate, man, especially now with kids. Like, it used to be a topic that I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about this. I'll speak about my experience as a youth athlete. When you become a parent, it becomes different, man.
Yeah, you start to get...
Dude, I was talking to my neighbor the other night on the 4th of July, and he was telling me his kid's getting ready to go to OSU. And I was like, how much the in-state tuition cost? He told me the amount that it still is, and I'm like, oh my God. I looked over at Teddy. Buddy, what do you want to golf? What are we going to do? Soccer? What are we going to do right now, huh? Let's get you into one of these academies, okay? Get a scholarship. I'm not paying for that.
2-year community college journey.
yeah.
And then transfer over to cut your debt.
We ain't doing 4 years of that, man. Hell no. It's way too expensive.
Well, we got a fun show in store for you, Dirt and Sprague. Let's get it going next. 105.1 The Fan.
A Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan, the quarterfinal matchups now all set for the World Cup. Argentina scoring 3 goals after the 78th minute to rally and beat Egypt 3-2. Lionel Messi, with his tournament-leading 8th goal, tied the match. They will face Switzerland, who bested Colombia on penalty kicks 4-3 after 120 minutes of scoreless soccer. A 6-team trade went down in the NBA on Tuesday. It will send Chris Middleton back to the Wizards, D'Angelo Russell to the Grizzlies, Karis LeVert to the Bucks, Taurean Prince and Gary Harris to the Pistons, and Santi Aldama to the Mavericks. Quarterfinal action continuing at Wimbledon this morning. Women on the courts right now. 9th seed Linda Noskova with a 1-set lead on serve, 2-3 in the second against Elise Mertens. In the other quarterfinal, Jasmine Paolini trailing Marta Kostyuk down a set, serving 1-2 in the second. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan.
All right, 628. Welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague with you on this beautiful, happy hump day. Hope your Wednesday's off to a nice little start early this morning. Keith Smith is going to join us from Spot Track. I want to dive into some of the numbers stuff with the Blazers today.
Yeah, what do we project as with our 5-guard lineup? How many wins do we see in the analytical column?
Where do we stack up once we sign our two-way guy as our final sign of the summer? Because we're definitely going to sign a forward that's a two-way. I
think I saw growing momentum from Blazer fans. Like, can we re-sign Trenton Watford? And we're like, all right, that's where we're at right now in the offseason.
That's what I talked about on Monday, dude.
That's where
Get ready
we're
for the Trenton Watford reunion.
He's back, baby. Blazer legend.
So we'll get to Keith Smith at 8:27. We got a status story Wednesday to deliver with you. College football, got a lot of college football. Yesterday, did the Big 12 actually prove against my point that you should have a media day? I mean, maybe.
Also, there's no way the business deal they signed is good, right? When you read the details of what they're... What? That's it?
It's one of the biggest fleece jobs a company's ever accomplished over an entity.
Yes.
Ever.
I don't care how much free stuff they throw in. It doesn't matter, man.
No.
That's a horrible deal.
So we'll get to all of that today. So something we haven't talked about, because I was out, you were in, I was in, you were out.
Yes.
And I don't want to relitigate everything. The Jaylen Brown trade.
Yeah, you were gone the day of the Jaylen Brown trade.
I was. I missed the Jaylen Brown trade day. If it was the Blazers, I would have probably audibled and
your day
showed
off.
up, to be honest with you.
I'm coming in hot.
I'm not missing that show.
No.
But Jaylen Brown's traded, and then this big analytics narrative and where he ranks, and is he the 7th best player on every team? Is he the 88th best player? The report that the Blazers valued him as a net negative.
Yes. Their analytical department said not worth it.
I thought Zach Lowe and Bobby Marks nailed this on Zach Lowe's podcast of like, we have eyeballs, we have brains. You can view somebody analytically, but how you view them and stack them up in the grand scheme of the league is a different conversation. And so analytically, paired with the contract, teams valued him at only so much.
Right.
Thinks he's overpaid, right? I was thinking about, as they were talking about that, how out of left field it feels for many. Like if I told almost anybody out there that last summer, and I say, hey, a year from now, Jaylen Brown's going to get traded for Paul George and a couple picks.
That's it.
That's all it would cost you.
Podcast P and 2 Philadelphia picks.
I don't know if anybody believes me.
No.
Right? If I didn't give you any other context but the trade. And so I'm going to ask you this. We currently have a franchise quarterback stealthily flying under the radar in the middle of a contract extension. And I'm just wondering, are we going to have a Jaylen Brown value versus analytics versus win percentage versus plus minus? Like, are we going to have this?
What's his plus minus?
Well, I'm just like, are we going to have this at some point sooner than we think? in the quarterback conversation, because when you talk about percentage of salary cap,
yes, that's the conversation.
And look, these teams are not cheap to buy, and guess what? They're not cheap to run either, especially in a sport like football, man. So I'm more thinking about a Lamar Jackson here, who already went through a contract stuff. We thought he was going to get traded because they weren't sure where they were at on it.
He held out forever, and Atlanta even said no to the trade.
It was 3 first-round picks would have gotten you Lamar Jackson. And
Right.
Carolina and Atlanta and was it New Orleans and somebody else, I think, all said, man, thanks, no thanks. And now he is back up, and he's going through these windows of negotiation. And I'm not saying he is the one, but I am wondering, are we going to get to a point where, much like the Jaylen Brown conversation hitting us out of left field, a team goes, not that number.
It's funny because I'm glad you brought up Lamar, because there's other young guys. Like, I think NFL teams are, I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting to certain quarterbacks being in the news right now, but I feel like there's an understanding of there's no rush to do this. Like C.J. Stroud in Houston is a great example of this, where it felt like for a couple of years there was this idea of like, you got to rush to get the deal done. The market is only going to go up. Let's get the deal done now, because in 2 years, if we wait, it'll cost us an extra X million dollars. And Houston right now is like, no, dude, we're not. Why would we give you an extension right now?
Especially after that playoff
You
game.
play great this year, by all means, man. We'll pay the extra money that we have to endure next season, depending on where the quarterback market goes, but right now you're not worth it. That's not a Jaylen Brown comp, because Jaylen Brown's an elite player. We can debate the plus and minus. You can debate where he ranks in the NBA. He's a finals MVP, and he's been one of the best players in the NBA over the last 10 years. That's where I think the Lamar Jackson debate is valid, because Lamar, look, we can do he can't win the big one, can't win a playoff game, which will exist until he wins a playoff game, and then everybody would just shut up and act like that conversation never happened. But he is a guy that's been very debated his entire career of what is the value, what is the risk of him getting hurt, do you really want to pay him $60 million? Now, my answer for both of these guys is a universal and an adamant yes. The idea in Boston that I do understand, and we played the audio clip yesterday, it's the point of Tatum and Brown taking up 70% of your salary cap space.
Right.
Like, that's a debate and a
much
conversation.
different than what quarterbacks are taking up.
No doubt that I can say, all right, I understand that. You think it's very hard to build a team paying two guys 70% of your salary cap, and you only have 30% left to fill out the rest of your roster. It's a hard way to build a championship team. So your idea is, let's flip Brown. Paul George's contract will come off the books. We got a couple of first-round picks, and we're going to try and spread that money out and have a more evenly balanced roster with Tatum being our best player. That's an argument that I can understand. The analytical crowd, the idea that he's not a good player, the idea that you wouldn't want him or he's a negative, that's the kind of stuff that I just roll my eyes at and I laugh at, because it's ludicrous and it's dumb and it's nerds taking over when they shouldn't take over. If Lamar Jackson and Jaylen Brown are up for conversation and I'm the general manager in the NFL or the NBA, it's an adamant yes. I want that player on my team. I know how good he is. I know what the ceiling is. They're both still in the primes of their careers. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, and I'm doing anything I can to get into business with them. And I talked about this on Thursday when you're out. Like, you can sell me those picks are going to have nice value down the road, or you don't want to give up all your assets for one player, and what does it mean where does he play? Do you move Tumani Kamara to the bench? Like, all right, that's fine. What's the player that's going to be available next offseason?
I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Is that player going to want to play in Portland?
There's a report that maybe Jaylen Brown wasn't super stoked on the idea of playing in Portland.
Guess what? He's got 3 years left on his contract, and he didn't have a no-trade clause. So,
right.
You know what doesn't matter? Him wanting or not wanting to play in Portland. Guess what's going to happen, buddy? You're getting on a plane. You're coming to Portland. You're playing there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Unless we trade your expiring contract in the last year of the deal. Like, this idea that, don't worry, there'll be another one available. Like, has anybody else followed the Blazers their entire life? This idea that these superstars are just hanging on trees. Well, we got picks. We'll go get one eventually. You got to find a guy who either has a contract like Jaylen Brown or wants to be here, and that's not readily available every offseason.
So one thing I want to talk with Keith Smith on, because I think we've heard it, but I always forget it, so I want to make sure I note it today. If Denny runs out the deal to get the extension, I want to know what the number is.
It's going to be big.
Okay, so
if he's an all-NBA guy especially, it's going to be a massive deal.
Because the organization is kind of telling you, they obviously value the contract he's on now. I think they're also telling you we have the plans to give him the bag.
Yes.
So,
him and Klingon will be our extension guys in 2 years.
Where are we going to be on that as a fan base?
Right.
You're going to give him the Jaylen Brown contract. I don't know if he'd be eligible for that much, but the Donovan Mitchell, he might be making $60 million a year contract.
Right.
How are we going to feel about Denny Avdia?
Donovan Mitchell's a good player. That's a lot of money.
It is a ton of money.
I remember bringing this up last year during the season and people throwing tomatoes at me.
70 to 75 a year on
Right.
a 4-year extension. He's going to be 39 by the end of that extension with Cleveland.
Yes.
He is in Cleveland.
I brought this up with Orlando and Banchero last offseason of I know Banchero is a good player. I don't doubt that he's maybe an all-NBA caliber guy. But you're paying him a lot of your salary cap, and is he a good enough one? Now, maybe New York will tell you, and Indiana will tell you can build it out the rest of the way. But in New York, you also had your best player taking a discount that allowed you to build the roster out.
But one element, the fallout element of that, and I think you can apply this to any sport, really, is the fallout element of it is the league is valuing the random nature of who wins the title, right? They want the parity. They want to say, hey, this year there could be 10 teams. Hey, next year there could be 11.
Could be anybody.
They love that position. What they haven't taken into account, I think, and I feel like this is a pretty obvious thing to say, they're not valuing the organization and fan aspect of, we got this guy, we developed this guy.
He's our guy. Won a title with this guy.
Did you see the video? I mean, it's one kid, right? But have you seen the little video of the kid? He's a diehard Celtic Brown fan. Jalen Brown's, he's got a jersey signed by him.
He's crying,
He's
probably.
7 years old. He's crying when he finds out that he's been traded. So
Yeah.
Jalen Brown sees this, actually links up with the family, and goes and gives the kid a hug and says,
That's
okay,
cool.
man, you still see me. I'll come back to town when I play. That is an aspect that you may not care that much about as a grown sports fan, but it's absolutely an aspect of team building that this league, whether it was inconsequential to them or not, it's massively stupid, and it
blowing
sucks.
teams up before they need to be blown up.
Because you love to watch the guy come here, grow, become a great player, and not be penalized. In Boston, Brad Stevens basically told you, we're being penalized because Jalen Brown's so good that we gave him a contract that value-wise was good to us, but because of the restructuring of CBA stuff, we financially now, this doesn't make any sense, and a lot of teams are sitting in that position. Nikola Jokic, who you would put as the GOAT.
Yes.
Jokingly.
I mean, yeah.
He's not going to sign an extension this year because next year he's going to get a 5-year, $340 million extension.
Right. It's the same reason Denny's not signing right now either, because in 2 years he's going to get paid out the butt.
You're putting organizations and I think fan bases in really bad spots by almost penalizing them. Remember when we were given an extra year on the CBA to sign the player for more money? But what they didn't do is restructure the percentage of the cap, and that's only gotten worse. So you weirdly want player movement to stop because people do hate it, but also you don't reward the team that drafted or got the player, and now they're at a certain level. You penalize them because the percentage of that cap on that contract is too high for them to operate the rest of the organization.
Well, and the other part of this, and this is where NFL quarterback contracts are a little bit different in my mind, is that we know, where is the NFL salary cap going every year?
I mean, it's
going
up
to the moon
the NBA's
literally
is
every
not,
season.
By the way, going up.
And
the way
this is the point, right? So when they got the new CBA, I remember we did a segment on it last year during the regular season that some of the projections were coming in, and while the number was still going up, based on what their projections were, it has taken a sharp drop off from where they thought it was going to go. And so when the new CBA was signed, you had this thought in your head of, well, 2 years from now, the cap will be X amount of dollars, this percentage on these players. Okay, we can make that work. And now that number is coming down, it's still going up every year from where it was, but not to the level that they thought it was going to. That's going to make this an even more realistic problem, because the hope was $7 billion deal. We got all the NBC, all these new people involved. Look, the salary cap will keep going up. So if we got a guy on a $60 million contract, in 3 years, it won't matter as much because the cap will jump by $40 million, and that is certainly not the case right now.
Joe Burrow, 24.5% of the cap for the Bengals. Dak Prescott, 23.5%. Herbert, 23.4% of the cap, and Lamar right now is at 23.1%.
Right. We're talking about Brown and Tatum being 70% of the Celtics cap.
They're 35 each.
Right.
They're 10% higher.
There's two guys who just suck up every penny basically you got.
So the NBA, they love to react to stuff and they love to freak out over what the internet says. I hope they're seeing this and noting how truly awful this is.
It helps that powerful organizations are going through this, because if this is happening to the Orlando Magic, I don't know if anybody cares, but it's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And when the Boston Celtics are in the news and their brass is saying this, you know that Adam Silver is going to take it seriously.
A lot more to get into, including the consequences of something not going through yet, maybe paying dividends here for people who are super pro this locally. We'll talk about that coming up. We'll dive into college football as well. Dirt and Sprague, we're back with more 641 on The Fan. Coming up, do we have a development locally that should make many that are pro the Moda Center funding happy? We'll get to that. Got a lot of college football to dive into today.
Yes.
I'm going to get to something here in just a second. I just want to note, for everybody's sake, my sanity level right now, where I'm at.
Where you at right now?
The Braves have exactly a week left before the All-Star break. They could be the first team in Major League Baseball history to blow a 10-game division lead before the All-Star break.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
You guys are still stinking that bad, huh?
We are horrific.
I mean, I gave up on baseball a month and a half ago, so your updates are about all I'm seeing.
If we miss the playoffs, I think
surprised.
most Braves fans might be there mentally. The pitching staff is a disaster. Everybody's hurt. They're in and out of the lineup. We just got shelled by, what's that guy? O'Hearn? Ryan O'Hearn.
Dude, did you see Paul Skeen's quote about it after the game? He had a hilarious line. He was like, I mean, kind of selfish.
Kind of selfish. It's a rally killer. A 3-run.
Other guys can't get RBIs. Every time there's guys on base, you got to hit home run. Can we share the love a little bit here? I mean, good for him, I guess.
Yeah, it was not good. It hasn't been fun to watch Braves game. In fact, I've skipped like 3 of their last 8 games because I'm like,
come
I
on
can't
over,
watch
baby.
this anymore.
The water's warm. 7 Saturdays until college football, man. We're almost there.
We'll get to college football. We'll take a momentary pause in between. I wanted to share this because I saw this. I started laughing and I went, I know who will enjoy this quote. You're always going to have one of those games that is outside your weight class. But you know what? You don't have to beat them 10 times. You have to find a way to beat them once, right? That's Boise State's Spencer Danielson on playing Oregon in week 1.
Bring it on, Spencer. Nobody's scared of a coach named Spencer, even though you almost beat us 2 years ago. And it was kind of a miracle that we won the game anyways.
Who was the most successful football-based Spencer in our lives?
Ooh, good question.
Spencer doesn't necessarily scream football to me.
Spencer Tillman?
Okay.
You got another one?
No. I don't.
Dirt, truth syrup.
I'm Googling Spencer's right now. I'm Googling
Spencer Tillman.
Oh, no, not Spencer Tillman. I'm Googling the famous Spencers. Spencer Haywood?
Okay, there's one. There we go.
I got Spencer Lee, who was a wrestler.
Yep. It's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Spencer Haywood was hoops.
He was hoops. I'm well aware of that. There was
But Spencer's
Spencer
not really
Lee
a
was wrestler.
sports name.
No, to prove the point.
Yeah.
He did win an ABA MVP at the age of 21.
Yes, he did.
You know,
So you got that going for you.
you know what? Maybe it's making me feel better about our season opener. You shouldn't be scared of a Spencer, even though, again, they almost beat us the last time they were in Autzen Stadium.
I'm
And
a closet Artist Gilmore fan.
I am one of the Duck fans who is, I think, in the right side of the opinion of, why do we keep scheduling Boise State? Can we stop playing Boise State?
Well, was this recently scheduled? Is this one of those, like, you've said
It's lingered for a while. I think it's been lingering for a while.
Okay, so maybe you're
we
not
don't
gonna
go
do it for
there
a while.
anymore, at least, so thank God for that. I never want to go play on that stupid blue turf again because it's a house of horrors for us. I did have the thought, though, because I saw this yesterday and I started chuckling. Duck fans are all saying the same thing, right? Ooh, red meat for Lanning. Like, that's going to work on July 7th.
I think barely beating him last time is the red meat he needs, you know?
I don't think he's going to be outraged by this quote. But I did have the thought dawn on me of, because I think I'm one that thinks Oregon's first 2 games are interesting, right? Boise is the opener. It's their first game in the Pac-12.
It's certainly not like some walkthrough.
No, it's not Portland
team,
State. You play Portland
Yeah.
State, but that's not until week 3. And then in week 2, you go down to Oklahoma State, and they got a new coach, and they brought in their quarterback, Mestamaker's there. Like, you're going to probably win both games, but it's not like you just roll in and win the game by 70 that you kind of had a bit of a feeling last year. But the thought dawned on me yesterday of Boise State and Oregon are going to play the opening football game at Autzen Stadium the week after Labor Day, or Labor Day weekend. And Boise State's going to have a Pac-12 logo on their jersey playing at Autzen Stadium. Like, there's an Oregon-Boise State game, and Oregon's not, and one of them's a Pac-12 team, and it's not Oregon. And just that thought of, like, that's really dumb.
That's a very
That's
good
really
point.
one of them's gonna have a Big Ten logo and one of them's gonna have a Pac-12 logo, and Oregon is not the one that's having the. It's just all of it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about the game, and this quote did get me thinking. Like, ooh, let's go, baby! I can't wait. It'd be nice to finally beat Boise State one time the way that we should beat Boise State.
Well, I mean, what does that even? I don't know what that means. Boise State's been a really good.
Boise State's a really good football team. Oregon is a little bit better than a really good football team this year. What are the expectations for Oregon this year?
Yeah.
What are the expectations for Boise State this year?
What were the expectations a couple of years ago when Noah Whittington?
Exactly my point. It'd be nice to not do that one time and just have the game over at halftime and let me put my feet up in the second half and watch some stress-free football.
Yeah.
For once in my life.
Yeah.
Never happens when we play Boise State.
No, it doesn't.
So my pucker's already there. That game's 2 months away, and I'm already puckering over it.
So you see this quote from the head coach of Boise State, and you kind of go, "Oh crap!"
I go, he's not wrong.
No, he's
Boise State couldn't survive playing Ohio State, Indiana, Michigan, USC, and Oregon in their conference schedule. But you got one time, you got to do it. That's it.
Well, and it's the first game of the year is the second part, and then also to add to it as a third part, it's the most healthy they'll be all season.
Right?
They'll just come into that game ready to go,
right?
And you're just gotta be like, "That's our start."
Here we go.
Yeah.
Don't trip out of the starting gate, okay?
I love opening weekends, the early slate of college football when you get these non-conference tilts. Yeah. I do. I think I also sit in the side of like, I'd prefer, I think, my team to have the cupcake at the very
first. You want Portland State in the first game of the year.
I don't want it really as a viewer because I'm going to turn that game off by halftime because it's 77-0
But if everybody else is doing it, why don't you do it kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, also, it's like it's your first game, right? So even if you feel good about what your camp was, your spring, your roster coming back.
It's always an unknown. You got two new coordinators.
You might take
a
quarter. It might take a quarter for them to wake up and get it going, right? It's no different than an NBA team adding Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. They might suck out the gate because they're learning how to play with each other.
Without a doubt.
And so you don't want the immediate, oh my God, we're up 7-6 on Boise State at halftime.
No, you're just uncomfortable.
I thought Dante was a Heisman guy.
Now the rest of the game, you're just sitting there panicked the entire. Please don't let something stupid happen.
Well, even if you end up winning that game like 31-10,
right,
or whatever it is, like
we gave a death certificate to Oregon football when they beat Boise State the way they beat them last time.
Yeah,
that was it because they damn near lost in week 1 to Idaho, and then week 2 they probably should have lost to Boise State.
I'd argue in some regard there was a chunk of Duck fans that gave you the death certificate for winning your playoff game against James Madison the way you did.
Yeah, that's the way we exist, baby.
So, I hate the cupcake game. I do. As a viewer, I don't get excited in any way.
Yeah, it's a test right out of the gate because Boise State's certainly a G6 playoff contender, right? Like they're the favorite probably.
They might be the leader in the clubhouse.
Right? Might be the leader in the clubhouse. So it's a well-run program. We all know that. And then you point to the game 2 years ago and how uncomfortable it was. You had a new quarterback. You had new pieces on the offensive line. There was communication issues. Your protection wasn't set up. And so what do you have this year? You have a new offensive coordinator calling plays for the first time. You're going to have, 3 new starting offensive linemen, I believe? At least 2, maybe 3. Some of the guys have played, but, there's new faces, new communication. So it's just, there's a lot of newness that you're going to have to get over. And that's your point, I think, of playing Portland State. You can get through it playing Portland State, but if you make mistakes against a team like Boise, they can make you pay.
A local note we need to pass along of, is the pressure getting to people? We'll get to that in the second hour. We'll also dive into college football, Big 12 Media Day. Did it make the point that the Pac-12 shouldn't have a media day? We got a lot of audio to get to in college football. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan. Final quarterfinal matchup determined on Tuesday at the World Cup. Argentina rallying down 2-0 in the 78th minute. Gets 3 goals to beat Egypt 3-2. They will face Switzerland, who win 120 minutes of scoreless soccer with Colombia and then won on penalty kicks for 3. 16 trade in the NBA going down Tuesday. Chris Middleton, the biggest name, he's going back to the Wizards. D'Angelo Russell will move to the Grizzlies. Karis LeVert to the Bucks. Torian Prince and Gary Harris going to the Pistons. And Santi Aldama going to the Mavericks. Quarterfinal action at Wimbledon this morning. Couple of straight sets victories on the women's draw. Linda Noskova and Martia Kostyuk advancing to the semis. The last American man, Taylor Fritz, will take on Alexander Zverev next on court 1. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is
Welcome back in. Hour number 2, 7 a.m. on the dial. Good morning. Welcome in. 105.1 The Fan and what we like to call the Fan Sports Network. Got a lot to get to here in the second hour of the radio program. We'll dive more into college football. We had Big 12 Media Day.
Yes, sir. It all began yesterday.
So we'll dive and talk about that. We got audio at Texas Tech and probably one of the worst negotiated deals maybe in sports history.
It has to be.
Not college football, sports history.
No, it has to be.
Want to remind you, though, before we get kicking off here in hour number 2, that Binary Brewing and The Fan have teamed up for the only Fan IPA available for a limited time. Taste swag with Binary Brewing's signature West Coast IPA. Go to Binary Brewing's Beaverton location and ask them about their only Fan. So good, only The Fan and Binary Brewing can pull it off. Taste the Fan with Binary Brewing.
It's so deep. It's so long.
Important show information to pass along. I know it's probably too early to be announcing this. We're going to have Ken Barkley on in August.
Yes. It's never too early to announce Ken Barkley. Never too early to let the people know.
We are
mark it on your calendars.
Efforting to see when Josh Pate's going to make his return for the football season. So we'll dive into all of that as football season is basically here. The World Cup over for many. I know controversial yesterday with Egypt and Argentina.
Yeah, they came out after the game and were
rigged.
It's
rigged.
We're taking some big shots there.
You know, you could also just stop Argentina from scoring 3 goals in like 8 minutes. That could also just be a choice.
That was a funny one to watch as we're exiting the building and everybody in the office kind of gathered around the TV to see it. I then left and it's 2-2. I get in the truck. Turn on the truck. 105.1 The Fan is, of course, playing because I'm a P1 of our station, and Patrick Harris notifies me, and Argentina scored again.
Yeah, they scored as soon as I left.
As soon as we left
watching
yesterday.
And they scored again. I felt like they were going to score a third goal, and then I heard it 2 minutes later. I'm like, yep, there it
was. There it is.
I want to start the second hour. I'll put a pause in college football and dive back into it because we got a lot of audio in that regard. So District 4 Council Member Mitch Green.
Yes. Let's talk District 4. Yes. Let's do it. What are his stances? Controversial. Get him out of office.
He is a progressive city council member who has come out pretty loudly against the Moda Center funding.
I mean, of course, you can't give money to billionaires, right? Even though we own the building.
I'm pretty sure I have it right that he was one of the people that went over and talked in front of the protesters during the Tom Dundon Portland City Chamber.
Fund our schools, not the billionaires,
even
though the taxes are different pools and it's a false equivalency.
Now, is Mitch Green running for re-election this November?
Bet your ass he is.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he actually disagrees with 2 things. He disagrees with the Moda Center funding, and he also disagrees with the Bull Run water filtration project.
I don't know anything about that one.
That's okay.
I got nothing for you.
You should learn about it, though.
Okay.
I think this is motivating us to start learning more and more about our
We should know more about local politics.
Situation. But I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was interesting. 2 local labor unions rescinded their re-election endorsements for him. saying his hesitation to approve major union-built public works projects are in opposition to union members' goals. IBEW Local 48, representing the electricians and ironworkers.
That's a big deal.
Thank you very much for your service. Local 49 released a statement Monday saying his hesitation to support the planned Moda Center renovation and the Bull Run water filtration project, quote, undermine union members' livelihoods, end quote. They also added, Councilor Green is choosing to deny the same security and benefit to working Oregonians. This is from Garth Bachman of IBEW Local 48, saying this is a betrayal of the working class and an unfortunate indicator of the councilor's values. He came out and he basically said, this does not change my stance. I'll still fight for the workers. He also did the I have a black friend thing when he's like, I have family members that are in unions.
My aunt's gay. What? Where did that come from?
I will fight for the unions even if they don't support me. But, I mean, look, it doesn't have to be the biggest of breaking news today to pass along. Just important to note along the journey.
For sure.
When you're losing support from unions,
right,
that's when you start to make a difference in terms of how is this vote going to go. I still sit in the same side I've been sitting in since day one. I just want to pass along information in regards to he has been one of the people very vocally, I am not going to vote for this. Yeah. I don't want our funds being used for that. And now you're getting some blowback in ways that actually matter politically.
Yeah, look, how big is this? Time will tell, right? I don't know what size of story this is, but it is definitely notable in the short term because I know a buddy who works for one of the local unions, and it's interesting to talk to him every time I see him about times where there's a lot of work going on and there's jobs readily available, and then times where it's like, I might have to go to Idaho for 6 months because there's nothing available locally. That's a problem that a lot of local union workers deal with. And so here you have these two massive projects. Now, I don't know much about the water filtration one, but I do know a lot about the Moda Center one that are going to hire likely union workers to build this arena. It's going to be a steady paycheck for them. It's going to take a number of years to get through every step of the renovation, and it's a massive deal for them. Another part of this that some of the councilors are arguing for, and I know this is slightly different because it's arena workers, but the idea of unionizing the workforce inside the Moda Center is a sticking point for some. Now, I don't know where that is on an issue for Tom Dundon, but this is going to become a bit of a union conversation, I think, throughout the debate in City Council. And so to have two of the most prominent local unions come out and say, like, this is ridiculous, man. Why are we not supporting this? We need jobs. We need money in our economy. We need business to be here.
Yeah.
How are you missing the point on all of this? By the way, we own the arena. By the way, it's an incredibly cheap deal when you look at just what the city's being asked to pay when the other parts are coming from the state and from the county. It's a very small sliver for the city considering what might be signed as a 20-year lease, and good for the unions for standing up for that. He clearly has already vocalized it's not going to make him change his stance, but it does put
Easy
a lot
to say that today.
Without a doubt. And then the polling gets a little bit tighter come November because union workers aren't voting for you anymore who live in your district, and guess what might happen? You might get a flip in your vote. And so all this stuff's going to run out going through the next election. We're not going to get votes on this for quite some time when you look at the timelines of it. But I thought this was very notable yesterday that the two unions came out and were as adamant and as vocal as they were in saying this is not okay. We endorsed you originally, and that endorsement is now gone.
Yeah, that's the thing that I had. It was just like I was scrolling through stuff, and I was on Oregon Live, and I looked at this. I'm on the sports section, and I see this story, and I'm like, they know what they're doing over there because this is exactly up my alley. Not that it's something that I, following some of these people, politics in general is just, it's so gross. But like that being in the sports section tells you everything you need to know, right? Whether they're going to get the funding for it or not.
Right.
I still continue to be very confident that they're going to pass this. Even somebody that's unsure they're going to vote was on our station saying we're going to pass it.
Right. She's gotten a bit of hot water since that.
She's been involved in a lawsuit for whatever work practice behavior. But when this is what moves the needle, right? Keith Wilson can come out and be a big supporter of giving the $75 million for the climate tax, and he can be advocating loudly, we need to do this, we need to do this. The thing that truly moves these people, I mean, not that politicians can collectively come together and kind of squeeze you. It's this, right?
So getting reelected and having support and having the donations come in, that's what moves you.
I'm sure Mitch Green would go on to serve in some capacity in some different job and be okay. but also doesn't want to lose being a city council member this quickly.
Right.
So being up for re-election and losing that backing, I mean, this was something notable for all sports fans that are in support of it because according to the Oregonians poll they did, 55% of Portland voters say they oppose the idea.
Yeah, of using the energy fund to, and I think it's just something where it hasn't been. I think the difficulty.
I think some of this stuff has not clearly been explained and drawn out for a lot of people. Not that we don't. Well, I mean, obviously, the city is in a weird spot. I sometimes feel like an outsider in a city I grew up in my whole life.
I do too.
In terms of how I feel about it, I read yesterday, like, I think they had 10 restaurant closings within a span of a month or something like that, which is like it's the most they've had in this X amount of days.
Not great, Bob.
No, and we work in downtown. I go to downtown all the time. A lot more lease signs popping up. It's very unfriendly right now for a lot of business. There's rumors about other longtime businesses in the state of Oregon maybe moving their headquarters. So it's just like a lot of uncertainty and awful economics at play here. But I know there's people in the city that truly could not care less about the Blazers. And I also know there's people that love the Blazers and then will also tell you they're not spending a cent of money on the Moda Center renovation. And, like, did you see when Orem did the SiriusXM thing on the trade?
Mm-hmm.
A blurb that got aggregated out of that was, and this isn't Orem's fault, but, like, it got aggregated and got passed around because I saw it on my Instagram feed. And it was basically Blazer owner refuses and is ready to relocate the team over Moda Center funding for the arena renovation.
Right.
Like, when you get aggregated like that and you're not somebody who follows sports closely, you see that and you're like, what?
Excuse me?
This guy's worth $1 billion and we got to spend, you know what I mean? And versus like, well, the city actually owns the building. It's never been renovated by the city.
Right.
They've financially benefited for 30 years from having that building in here with that team. So, like, there's a lot of misinformation and stuff that has not clearly been drawn out, I think, for either the Blazer fan uneducated on it or people that just don't know what's happening and they're just seeing the aggregation hit them.
I think that's the difficult part where we're at right now. And John Isaacs, when we had him on the show, was that 2 weeks ago?
That was last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah, it was last week.
Laid it out for us, and I thought a really good way of there's a bit of putting the cart in front of the horse, especially from city council people, because we're not even to the point where there's like a full deliberation and vote on it. Like, we're still a long ways away from that even happening. And you're getting these people who are running out to have their Instagram videos and their re-election campaign videos filmed saying we won't give money to billionaires, and that plays well with a lot of local voters, and it just misses a lot of the context.
Yeah, I saw a gal doing that. She was posting a video and a
exactly
podcast
what they're doing
interview,
it for.
and she's like, we're not doing this.
Right.
And
then people, yes, good. Screw the billion. I mean, that's the reaction you get, and it's missing every aspect of context in terms of what the actual debate is and what it would mean if the team were to leave and how it would cripple us financially. And so everybody's putting the cart in front of the horse in that regard. And I think one of the biggest problems we have right now, in particular, and you highlighted it, is the idea that, especially from this clean energy fund, because that's still the first big thing that we're waiting on, is $75 million of that being approved to either be used or not be used. And if they say no, and it's from an independent panel of people who decide yes or no on that issue, if they say no, then it's a pivot from the county of, well, where does the rest of that $75 million come from? If it's a yes, it's a massive hurdle that you come over, and you say, okay, there's $75 million of the money. But again, the difficulty of it is it hasn't really been explained to the public. What are the benefits of using the energy fund? Where else would that money go if it's not used for the Moda Center? This is something that's similar that happened in Seattle. It was Climate Pledge Arena. That was a big part of it. Like, how do we make our arena green? How do we make it energy efficient? How do we make it more affordable in the long term for the city by putting those things into practice? And so I've never had an issue with it. I think it's just simply the idea on the surface level of, wait, $75 million from clean energy to go to pay for a billionaire stadium? Why would we do that? Instead of explaining, well, if you do that, here's the energy of, we're going to put solar panels on the roof. You don't need to plug anything in. It's all sustained. Like, I don't even know what the answer is, right? Dare to dream. Let's have a water turbine. Let's put get a windmill in the background, and we'll make sure this thing runs on its own energy. Like, I don't know exactly where those dollars will go, and that's something that they could do a much better job of explaining to, I think, make it more appetizing to the public to say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yes, I'm okay for that money going towards the arena.
Yeah, I guess that's something I would ask somebody like a John Isaacs of, like, when is that going to start happening.
And whose job is that? Is that the
I
city's
know.
job? Is that the county's job? Is that the Blazers' job? Whose job is that to better educate the public on where the money's going, what it's going to look like, and how this process plays
Also,
out?
it's politics, right? What is politics right now? It's pretty dirty.
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't help but also read this article yesterday and go, oh, I wonder who got on the horn with the labor union members and said, hey, yo, you still sporting this guy?
That's a way to push the ball behind the scenes, right? That's a way to move the ball down the field.
If there was ever a Frank Underwood, his name would be Tom Dundon. We're knocking the ring
Hey,
twice
you know
on
who's
the table.
building this arena? Union workers are going to build the arena.
I also wouldn't put it past Keith Wilson to be here every day and be like, I'm kind of tired of waiting on this. These people are popping off on stuff that they're not really
It's a difficult part
educated on.
It's a difficult part of Portland right now is that over the last handful of years, we have completely neutered the mayor.
Oh, I know.
And we finally have a mayor who's like, yeah, big league sports, I get it. And he's
I want to make the
on
city business friendly.
all on board with this. And we've spent the last 5 election cycles neutering him and his power and saying you're not going to have that anymore. If we could only turn back the clock and say no to all those propositions and the mayor was the final say on this, it would be a done deal and the thing would pass.
I had somebody text me because I was texting with them about this, and they were like, why does it just seem like the worst people are in politics? I know it's been a thing for a while. Why in my
just
lifetime?
get level-headed, common-sense people to come to conclusions and how to solve problems?
No, because people don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with like the backlash and blow of some of the stuff.
You want a fun side spin of this that might end up happening? You ready for this one? I learned this the other day. So we don't know what the vote tally is on the city council. It's a 12-person council. 7-5 advances the proposition or kills the proposition.
Yeah.
Some people believe it's a 7-5 against split right now. Some people believe it's a 6-6 even
That's a
split.
speculation
Right?
guess,
It's a speculation because not everybody's publicized where their vote is going to go. It's just behind the scenes thought process.
Right.
If you get 6-6 and you get a split vote on the arena funding, the mayor in theory is the tie-breaking vote. And that would then say, well, of course he's going to say, yeah,
he's going to say yes.
That's what he wants to do. We also don't know if that'll hold up in a court of law. And the no votes will immediately go to file a lawsuit.
This is a theory?
This is probably going to happen. If it's a 6-6 split and Keith Wilson is, because we have spent, again, the last handful of years handing control over to the city council. And this has been an untested theory. We've never had this situation.
It's been working out great for us, that decision.
With the 6-6 split, to have the mayor come in and say, well, I'm the deciding vote. And the no votes will 100% file a lawsuit and say this can't stand up in a court of law. And then it's up to a judge. Then we're just college football. Can Brendan Sorsby play? Please tell me the judge is a Blazer fan. Please tell me he wants to keep the Blazers here.
Is it a communist judge or a judge that was born in Texas? Because, depending on your side here.
Please no commies. Please no commies. No commie judges. Please no commies.
Judge has been a season ticket holder for 42 years.
Yes! Blazers stay!
I chose not to recuse myself. I can be unbiased
I'm
here.
unbiased. Rip City!
My tickets were next to the dancing
to the facts
lady.
and the law here.
Still have my Brandon Roy jersey hanging.
Oh my
Opening night,
closet.
judges sitting courtside.
Dude, it's like
We're a little bit broken as a city, man.
a little bit. We're a lot of
frustrating.
bit broken.
Pretty frustrating.
I'm as open-minded as you can get, dude. I really am. But also sometimes your eyes can't lie, right? Like you can't. I go to a restaurant at 7:00 in downtown, and it's dead, and there's lease signs in every other window. I mean, it tells me all I need to know.
Right. I think there's angles of like local communities and neighborhoods who are thriving and doing well, and I certainly feel like my neighborhood and community is one of those. It's also the idea of like the Albina district desperately needs this. The Albina district will disappear if you lose the Moda Center and the Blazers.
I would argue it doesn't. For
a lot of people, it doesn't exist.
Not working for
and
them.
it's not good to go down there, and a lot of people don't want to go down there. But the whole idea is, if you have the Moda Center funding pass and the Blazers stay, and then if you have the Phil Knight money that's going towards that, like you could turn that into a location that's not necessarily downtown, but it's close to downtown. That becomes a very desirable location for people to want to go. And right now, that's not the case. And if you lose the Blazers, good luck over there, man.
So how would DeRozan fit with the team?
Horribly.
I think you can make a real argument because I
playing
heard
the 4.
Well, I heard Dan. We were talking with Danny yesterday in the exchange. He told me that they're doing the Ja Morant thing in Vegas.
What do you mean the Ja Morant thing?
Well, I don't know. He was kind of unclear the way he explained it to me.
Like the press conference?
Like his press conference.
Oh,
okay.
We're not going to have it in Portland with Joe Cronin?
Maybe we will. I'm just telling you what I heard. He's
Joe's
like, they're doing
dodging the heat?
He goes, they're doing Jaw in Vegas.
Okay.
And I went, boy, you're saying a lot about yourself if that's your decision.
How many local media members are even going to Summer
Like
League?
3.
So you're going to have 3 local media
You'll have
members
your
there?
Freeman, Quick will be there, Hyken will be there probably. I would imagine an Orem does pivot and say, I got to go for this.
But you'll also get guys like Golliver. I'm assuming Golliver will go to
you'll
Summer
get
League.
some of those
You get the
guys,
Memphis
yeah,
contingent
sure.
to be there probably. They'll ask more questions just about his time in Memphis. It's not even about Portland.
And then I also heard that Joe might not be talking, and I'm like,
what?
What are we doing?
I think you can make a real case.
Is he becoming Jody Allen?
This has been one of the worst off seasons for the franchise/city in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Just in the what we thought the team would be, and now we're dealing with this pain in our ass.
Right.
Don't spend $6 million a year to have the Blazers be in your town.
I don't want nice concerts either. Yeah.
You want to stop the salmon run?
Who wants Taylor Swift to come to town? There was a theory the other day that I saw.
Not me, and not Charles Barkley. He opted to not go to that wedding.
Smart move, Charles. There was a theory I saw online the other day, just to add to it, and I'm a believer in it, that they don't even have any interest in Trey Murphy because they don't want to move Kamara to the bench. And if you went and got Trey Murphy in a trade, that would be because they're going to start Dame and Ja. And if you're starting Dame and Ja,
I've been saying this since they signed him. Dame was never coming back and not starting.
It's
Dame Lillard.
You were going to be so historically bad defensively in your backcourt.
No, Dame's actually better defensively than you think.
What do you need what do you desperately need in your starting line? You can't sit your all defensive guy in the starting lineup when you're going to be a sieve up front. Yeah. You're going to need somebody to stop somebody, and so no, we can't move Kamara to the bench.
Well, just wanted to pass along a nice local note. Thank you, labor unions.
Yes.
Keep pulling support from those people who don't want nice things. I want nice things. So shout out our local labor unions. I support you, and thank you for all the great hard work you do.
Yeah, let's put Ice back in the Moda Center, too, by the way. Jody Allen was too cheap, and she let the machine break, and then she never paid for a new one. Be nice to have Ice back in the Moda Center, too.
I was told Jody funded everything and never said no.
That is not true.
Oh, but I was told that.
Yeah, I know. Well, sometimes people
also
say
couldn't
things.
have an alternative court because they had no storage facility for an NBA court.
Where'd that fire court come from?
That's weird. I
Did
don't
they
know.
put the Blazer one into a wood chipper?
Was it in Hillsborough?
In the off season, they have to they ship it to Hillsborough every day after the game, and then a truck brings it back into the Moda Center to put it on the floor.
That is a top 5. I can't believe you believe that explanation
Well, I don't have
I've
room down
ever
here.
heard in my life.
What do you mean
They
you
don't
don't
have
have room?
storage for it.
What? We don't even make ice anymore. How's there not room for another floor?
In downtown, you know how many buildings would take that storage?
I'll take it, man. I'll take a piece. Everybody take a piece home and bring it back tomorrow.
We roll on the second hour. Big 12 Media Day. Quite the controversies from Big 12 fallout. Let's get to that next on The Fan.
The George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, quarterfinal matchups now all set at the World Cup. Argentina scored 3 goals after the 78th minute, rallying to beat Egypt 3-2. Lionel Messi had his tournament-leading 8th goal to tie the match. They will face Switzerland, who bested Colombia on penalty kicks 4-3 after 120 minutes of scoreless soccer. Quarterfinal action at Wimbledon this morning. The men's quarterfinals just getting underway. 9th seed Flavio Caboli of Italy taking on unseeded Arthur Ferry of Great Britain. 1-1 in the first set. Just set to go. The last American man standing, 6th seed Taylor Fritz taking on the 2nd seed Sasha Zverev. I'm Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the
College football coverage on the Fan is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Did Big 12 Media Day instantly prove me wrong that the Pac-12 having a media day or not having a media day was a mistake?
I don't think so, because while all the stories are certainly not positive, a lot of them are negative. You know what a lot of people are doing right now?
Talking about the Big 12.
You know what we're going to do again tomorrow, probably?
Talking about the Big 12.
Yeah. So this idea, well, you're talking about not having a media day, so therefore the Pac-12 got what they wanted. I don't know, man. I don't understand that idea of we don't want to do everything we can to showcase our conference, and also to the notion of we're saving this money for it's not your money, other promotional events. What does that mean?
There's no other promotional event on the calendar.
Run an extra commercial to say that you have Oregon State versus Sam Houston State on the CW. Like, what am I missing here, man?
I'm Teresa Gold, and you're watching the Pac-12 Network. Like, I don't need to see that on the CW instead of having a media day?
Again, not every story that we're going to talk about.
DeMarcus Shepard at a media day?
Yes.
That'd be great.
He'd be fantastic. And
Imagine
he's going to be great at the Oregon State media day, but it's better as a conference.
The coach of Wazoo?
Yeah,
What's
that
his
guy.
face?
What's his nuts?
His brother. The brother.
Kellen Moore's brother.
Kellen Moore's brother.
Kirby Moore.
Him at media day?
I'm fairly confident it's Kirby Moore.
Hi, I'm not Kellen Moore, and you're watching the Pac-12 on the CW. Can you imagine having that?
It is Kirby Moore. By the way, did you see the statue that Boise State's building for Kellen Moore?
Why are we building a statue for Kellen Moore?
He was really good. Is he not statue worthy?
No.
Are you poo-pooing a Kellen Moore statue?
How about a Chris Peterson statue?
Well, he did. Yeah, well,
Do we not have a Chris Peterson statue?
He left and went to Washington. He turned his back on us.
Kellen Moore left and went to the NFL.
Also, who was their first guy that took he left too? The guy before, because Peterson was the second in line. Dan Hawkins, yeah.
Dan Hawkins?
They had Dan Hawkins.
Chris Peterson's the statue. If you had to choose a statue at Boise State,
there's no doubt.
Kellen Moore over Chris Peterson?
No, but I think you're being a little too dismissive of Kellen Moore's collegiate career.
He's a stat compiler.
He's a stat compiler?
Beat Oklahoma.
I want to look up his college stats.
What's his biggest win?
Zambransky did. Was it Zambransky?
It was
Zambransky.
Yeah. Put Ian Johnson. Give him a statue. He scored and proposed.
Kellen Moore.
The proposal statue.
The proposal statue that's the statue.
That's unbelievable. That started your entire existence for most people.
Now, I'll go back and look at their win-loss those years. Kellen Moore in his career, 4-year starter, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks, 39 touchdowns, 3 picks, 35 touchdowns, 6 picks, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks.
Sean Mannion line
2008. I mean, this is a new rival of you. I like it. You got to have some.
Well, I mean,
have some beef.
Cody Vaz number.
He's no Cody Vaz.
Look, Kellen Moore was good. I'm giving you grief.
Let me see what their win-loss.
Him having a statue before Chris Peterson is utterly insane.
Do you know how many games he lost?
Is there a statue? Do we know
I don't
if there's a
know.
Peterson statue?
I don't know the answer to that. Boise State fan, help me out. In 4 years as a starting quarterback, do you know how many games he lost?
Probably 5.
3.
Yeah, I mean, who'd they play? They beat Oklahoma.
I think one of the years they definitely beat Oregon because he was there in 2009 when they beat Oregon.
Oh, 2009?
And that Oregon team won the Pac-12.
Transition year.
It wasn't a transition year.
Well,
they won the conference and went to the Rose Bowl.
But wasn't that Chip Kelly's first year?
It was his first ever game as coach.
There you go.
They went 14-0 and won the Fiesta Bowl that year.
If Chip Kelly had 2 weeks, that game wouldn't have been close.
Who did they play in the 2009 Fiesta Bowl? Did they beat somebody big?
Exactly.
They did not. They played TCU. I remember that game. It was the two underdogs, 13-0, 12-0, Boise State, TCU, and they beat TCU.
I'm not seeing that there's a statue at Boise State for Chris Peterson.
Yeah, I don't think there is, but yeah.
Look, you want to put Kellen Moore as a statue, you can do that. Before Chris Peterson is just nuts. It's nuts. It doesn't make any sense.
It's about the player, baby.
It's like putting up a Sean Mannion statue before Terry Baker. What?
Yeah. Well, no, that'd be like putting up. Who deserves a statue, Terry Baker or Mike Riley?
Well, Terry Baker won a Heisman.
Mike Riley brought the program from the depths of despair.
Yeah.
And had you on the brink of playing back-to-back Rose Bowls, which will probably never happen
It'd be
again.
like putting up a quiz statue before Terry Baker.
See, again, you can't make the player-to-player comp. You got to go coach. In this analogy, you're going coach to player.
You know, the weird thing about Oregon State fan, and I don't think I'm speaking out of pocket here, I think there is a good percentage that Dennis Erickson all day.
Over Mike Riley, even though, what was he, 3 years at Oregon State?
Yeah.
3
Well,
years? I mean, it was a Fiesta Bowl. I get it.
You were debatably the best team
What
in
helped you,
football.
again, get to that point? Who was there before him?
JUCOs.
Mike Riley.
Well, JUCOs helped him get to
Sure,
that point.
but who, again, established a program to the point where he got an NFL head coaching job.
He did. Yeah. Ryan Leaf, line 2.
Am I taking crazy pills here? I'm putting this up as a poll question.
You know who wanted Tom Brady in San Diego?
If you, Mike Riley did. If you were a Boise State fan, who would you want a statue built of first? Chris Peterson?
This isn't even a contest.
Or
That's a bad
Kellen
poll
Moore
question.
Well, we'll see. The listeners will judge.
That's okay.
To the victor goes the spoils.
All right. Well, the tough thing here is Mariota has a Heisman.
Yeah, like if you told me, would you rather build I don't even, what coach would you use? Would it be Bellotti?
I think
Brooks?
it'd be Bellotti.
Bellotti? Would I rather have
No disrespect to Brooks.
No.
I think it'd be Bellotti.
And Chip was great, but he's a bit of the Erickson thing. It was only 4 years. The 4 years were magical, but it was only 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, Dirt, would you rather build a statue for Bellotti or Mariota? It's not even close. It's Mariota.
I know,
not even close.
Heisman changes it, I think, a little
Sure.
bit.
Would I rather build a Dennis Dixon statue or Bellotti? I'd take Dennis Dixon.
You're insane.
I would.
You're so
would. Give me a Bo. Not Bo. He beat us at Auburn.
That's the highest PERS employee in Oregon history you're disrespecting there, Mike Bellotti.
I'm going to throw this one out there right now. If you're a Boise State fan, would you rather have a statue of Chris Peterson or Kellen Moore at your stadium?
All I'm saying is, like, if you're going to build a statue for somebody in football
now
first,
we got it. Now everybody gets a statue?
Well, that would be my response if you had a Chris Peterson statue.
This is a participation statue trophy
Aston
we're living
Genty
in?
getting a statue? Or was
he was
longevity
badass.
not there?
He was badass.
He was absolutely badass.
He was really good.
Standing like somebody dead, like a zombie waiting for the football back there at 5'8". Unbelievable. All I'm pointing out is Chris Peterson should have it first. Back to the Big 12 media.
Yes, what's
dealings.
going on? As we talk more Pac-12 football. Maybe this is winning. Maybe they're right.
Well, we steered it this way.
We did.
To be fair, this was all our doing. Brett Yormark and Texas Tech continue to be at odds. There's still a lawsuit. They haven't dropped the lawsuit suing Texas Tech.
Yes, they had a big sit-down meeting at a steakhouse this week to try and iron out all their differences.
Yeah, Dellinger reported that they had a steak dinner a couple days ago going into this thing, and so they're starting to mend fences here, but the lawsuit still stands. It's all very weird.
Yes.
Here is an exchange from a Texas Tech beat writer with Brett Yormark.
Sean Dillon, Rocket Brigade. Commission, Texas Tech got fined over tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU paddles broke an always maker rule, has a tradition exemption. Sorsby never played a snap. Big 12 sued them anyway, while Cincinnati hasn't been yet touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas fans believe it?
Could you sit? Let me come closer to you. Stand up. Ask that question again, and I'm going to give you the answer I want to give you. So go ahead.
Texas Tech got fined for tortillas.
Why can't he say tortillas?
What is the tortillas? Tortillas.
OSU has had paddles that were given a
That needs to be a
noisemaker
drop, by the way.
exemption
Him trying to say tortillas
back in 2012. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders, and yet there is a lawsuit. Cincinnati has yet to be touched.
Touched?
You're selling greater than 12.
Cincinnati.
Why should Texas Tech fans believe them?
No, I didn't say greater than 12. You misquoted me. I said we're going forward as 16 strong, and that's my answer to your question. But thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
He knew what the question was the first time
Yeah.
and was like, I'm going to buy time because it's the longest-winded question of my life. So
also, the guy wrote it down on a note card because he was clearly reading. If you watch the video, he read it off the note card both times.
Can you restate your question and come closer to the stage as if
your
the guy
ass
doesn't
up.
have a microphone?
Yeah. Stand up. I want to see you. Let everybody point at you and laugh.
To then just respond with a 6-second response. You misquoted me, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Thanks.
It is a very good point, though. Like, the Texas Tech stuff is dumb. By the way, he's a beat writer for Texas Tech, so it's like, just sit down and shut up. You wanted to play a guy who gambled on his own
But they
team.
banned tortillas.
Tortillas are gone. You can't throw, but I think they still do throw tortillas, if I'm not wrong. They just pay the fine. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But the idea that he is 100% right on is that, do you know who else is in the Big 12? Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Where did Sorsby play last year?
Yeah.
Who had direct knowledge of all of this stuff that was going on?
People are like, Indiana and Cincinnati are both getting out of that deal.
And nobody's touching them with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
That is the one argument that Texas Tech can make that is completely valid. By the way, should be noted, I think Dellinger had it. Let me pull up. I think it was the Big 12. I think it was the NCAA. Literally the day after this happened, sent a notice of inquiry to Texas Tech. Where did it go? Yeah, the NCAA sent a letter of inquiry to Cincinnati. So the NCAA the very next day is already sending something to Cincinnati to say, hey, when did you find out about this? Did you know about this? What's going on here?
Here is Texas Tech's Joey McGuire. I'm moving on from Brendan Sorsby.
One thing that I truly believe in is to bring a team together. Shared success is part of it, but shared adversity brings you even closer. And, the last couple months we've gone through some adversity. I do believe if you walked into our building every single day and you walked into the weight room and the workouts or football school, you wouldn't know that anything was going on.
He also added that he thinks Hammond can be back by week 1. So their first game, He thinks he can be back from their injury. He doesn't know that for certain, but he says he looks pretty good. Got to check with the medical staff, line it all up. But a little bit of Texas Tech and Brett Yormark handling. He also came out, Yormark, and I think people crushed him for this immediately when it got leaked what his statement was. But I think many in the college football orbit have pointed out. So Yormark comes out yesterday and says at the get, I'm not going to talk about this. This is not the time and place. And people are like, you coward, you chicken. But as people noted, they're still in litigation with them. So I think legally he's been advised until the lawsuit either gets dropped or settled to not really comment publicly much on it. Now, I still think Yormark, little bit of a chicken on some of this stuff, and he's having to mend the fences with Texas Tech. But I think ultimately people pointed legally he's going to have to stay as kind of quiet on this until they can figure out the lawsuit side. The other side of this is some audio from the Big 12 that I want to get to involving Dion in Colorado.
Dion's back in the news. Said, I'm not in the video game because you're not paying me enough money.
And far and away, the worst deal in maybe sports history. And get your thoughts on this. You can share your thoughts. We'll dive into it. We'll get to that from Big 12 Media Day next on 105.1 The Fan.
FM and 1080 AM.
We'll dive into some of the Blazers stuff with Keith Smith of Spot Track. He'll help us understand exactly what Denny Avdia could be looking at contract-wise in 2 years. Does he agree with the Blazers' offseason moves? And does he also agree that the way the league has shifted, that maybe Portland is telling us without telling us, we don't plan on trading those Bucks picks. We're going to keep those because those are going to be young, controllable assets.
There's also an Orlando one in there. There's a Boston one potentially in there.
The Orlando one's
TBD.
in 28, so unless I guess it craters, but I don't know if that's going to go that way. But yeah,
Probably not.
So on to Big 12 Media Day, where I think I've come to the conclusion, because I saw Beaver fans yesterday during the show and then after the show seem like a pretty universal, let's band together and say, who cares? This isn't a big deal. You don't have to care greatly about media days. I totally understand. There's a lot of stuff we don't ever get to or talk about from them.
Yeah.
My whole point is just like, this is kind of why you have it. Whether it's good or bad, and it's certainly mostly bad, you just want to be a conversation.
Spencer Danielson not giving that quote to Pete Nakos about playing Oregon, but saying it at Big 12 Media Days.
It'd be huge.
With the audio, we're playing it. It's the same thing, right?
So having people tweet about it versus actually like on video and being talked about is an entirely different thing.
Yes. By the way, one quick note that does play into Oregon State this year.
Yeah.
The Hammond stuff, it's important to remember if he is available for week 1, their week 2 game is in Corvallis. So you would...
It is in Corvallis.
You would conceivably go to the place of if he's playing week 1, he's going to play week 2, and that was somewhat up in the air of is he going to be available? They don't maybe not have a starting quarterback. So if they think he's ready for week 1, he will be playing unless he gets hurt in week 2 in Corvallis.
So here is another thing that came out from Big 12 Media Day. Brett Yormark announced a partnership with Monster Energy Drink.
Monster. When was the last time you had a Monster Energy drink?
Never.
You never had one, really? In your whole life? Yeah, that you can remember? It's been a long time for me.
Really bad. I don't know if it's a good or bad take. I hate the logo. I won't buy it on the logo.
You won't buy it, so you don't even know what the flavor is. You just won't even try it because of the logo. I'm a logo guy too from time to time.
Look, it's a very
you
popular,
judge a book by its cover.
Is it number 1? Is it beating Red Bull? I don't know.
I think it's being beaten Red Bull.
I think it's in the conversation. I know many people. Every time I go to a checkout, I see somebody with a Monster. It's clearly a hot seller.
What's bigger, Rockstar or Monster?
I think it's Monster.
You think so?
I think so. I don't know what the actual sales numbers are.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, Monster White. Give me the Monster White.
They are a close second in sales behind
Red Bull.
Gives you wings.
Yeah. Anyways, the Big 12 announced that they had a partnership with Monster. And then he went on, and he explained the partnership is every team in the conference is going to have a Monster Energy patch, and there's going to be a Monster Energy logo on the field.
Not just in football, by the way. Men and women's basketball, too.
Jerseys, courts, fields.
Yes. Okay? For every team in the conference. For every game.
They're the presenting sponsor of the entire Big 12.
They're going to pitch it as like Big 12 football brought to you by, or Monster Energy presents Big 12 football.
And now after the SEC and the Big 10, some people make an argument the Big 12 is third. Now, if you like the ACC more, totally get it. That's fine. That's a subjective argument.
Right.
This is one of the 4 power conferences in the sport. Financially, it came out the Big 12, Monster Energy for patches on all their jerseys in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and logos on the courts and fields of every member. $20 million a year. When you calculate it out to football, that's about $1.5 million per school. If you add the basketball element, we're talking about $250K a year. Monster Energy is got logos on all of the stuff we watch.
To just put a small sponsorship logo on an NBA jersey,
which I believe we were the only team in the league last year without one.
We didn't have one?
We did not have one.
What happened to BioFreeze?
That
went away a while
ago? We
had
a crypto one after that.
Did we? Yeah.
I thought we had a window company.
Did we have a window on there?
I thought I read earlier we were the only in the.
I knew BioFreeze went away.
Yeah.
When they laid off a lot of people, I believe I read in the Oregonian piece we were the only team last year in the league to not have a jersey patch.
So this is the average for NBA teams. You want to take a guess at how much it costs for a year? You're a company. Hey, I want to put a logo on the Blazer jersey.
It has to be like $20 million.
$3 to $4 million.
Wow, that's a big gap in between, and the answer is right in the middle. Somewhere in the $9 to $10 million per season.
Yeah.
More obviously, if you're talking Laker jerseys, it's probably $20 million. If you're talking, Pelicans jerseys, it's probably $4 million, and then you even out to about $9 or $10 million. That's just for one NBA team for 82 games, and I don't know if you're guaranteed a logo on the floor or not. You're talking every Big 12 football game. is going to have 2 Monster Energy logos going back and forth. This is one of the worst deals ever inked. Like, I get that you're desperate for money and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. One other thing from the Texas Tech stuff that we missed in the last segment that just made me chuckle out loud. You see what Cody Campbell said? So they're meeting with the Big 12 about this. Let's settle our differences. And they asked Cody Campbell about the Fort Worth meeting. He said, well, one of the things we wanted to get accomplished was to get all the other Big 12 schools to elevate themselves. Everybody needs to do some version of what we've done. That's the path forward for the conference. A rising tide lifts all boats. And oil billionaires out there wanting to donate to Kansas State football to get them to the point where they're spending $40 million on their roster, by all means, Cody Campbell, I'm sure that they would welcome that with open arms. It doesn't exist at those schools. So I get that you're desperate for money, but $20 million for every sport, men, women basketball, and football for every game and every jersey is ludicrous.
I mean, it's an insanely stupid deal.
That should be $50 million bare minimum.
Monster Energy should be. They're laughing right now behind your marks back of like, dude, I couldn't believe he agreed to that. We're only paying $250K at school for all of that branding.
Right.
You gladly sign up for that all day if you're Monster. On the other side, why not just have conversations with every school to do individual deals? You're telling me, so you're going to tell me.
I think
Utah. Let's take Utah. BYU, Utah, both in the conference. By the way, very interesting to have Monster Energy all over it. A lot of Mormons don't drink caffeine.
No, they do not.
Well, traditional energy drink or coffee, right?
Yeah, Utah and BYU in there.
You're telling me they couldn't make more than $1.5 million a year by selling their rights to this?
Here's the only tough part with it, because I largely agree with you. The deal should be better, but in theory, is it better for the conference to do a flat deal for everybody?
No.
Or let it go school by school?
Let it go school by school. We're already in that territory in sports, pro sports, women's and basketball, men and women's basketball. Pro basketball does this.
Right.
Let them, they can make more. You're telling me sleazeball Kevin O'Leary wouldn't pay $3 million to Utah to just put his face on their jersey and
put his data center logo on there? Hey, I got a data center on your state.
Like, you're telling me they couldn't do that? Now, Oregon has floated this around, and I know this is I don't know if we're at the sacred nature anymore, or people are so accustomed to this crap and the sellout of everything. Mm-hmm. Like, where would you be if the Ducks sold this out? There's a patch on a jersey.
I'm not going to be outraged by it because I get it.
But as somebody who bought a Dame jersey once upon a time, I forever have a BioFreeze logo on that jersey.
They got what they paid for right there.
I think it was Brightside Windows is what you were talking about.
Okay, that ended up being the jersey sponsor at some point last year.
That was the other one after BioFreeze, but they didn't have one last year.
Look, this might be a dumb stance, but my stance largely comes down to what's the company and what's the logo look like. If I'm Utah and I now have a yellow M on is it green, right? Green M?
It's like a 3-stripe green, yeah.
Like, that's not making me happy. You got to gel with the jersey.
Bizarre,
you got to vibe with what you already got going on. And so, yeah, dude, is there any company out there that's purple? That has like purple in there? Like, if that company sponsored the Oregon jersey, I'd have a bit of a problem with it. That would not be cool, man. You can't have purple on that jersey.
It would be really funny trolling if a company owned by a Husky alum
fan bought the jersey,
gave you the money you wanted,
knowing that the purple will be on there.
Gave you a logo with slight purple on it.
I mean,
my hope wouldn't agree to that.
My hope is Nike just wants to buy another patch and give us more money. If you want to do that, we'll double swoosh all day. Double swoosh, double swoosh. It's like Pippen golf, where they got to put one on the sleeve, one on the back of the shirt, because every time you see it, you get paid. Yeah. We just become that version of college football.
I mean, we've been in the world of jersey patches forever. $20 million for all of those schools.
I largely agree with you on the point of every school, by the way. It's just tough to say.
Like 1.5.
Some of them can, not all of them can, and that's the difficult part. Like,
which
Kansas,
ones do you think can't?
Can't?
Yeah,
Kansas football, Kansas State football, Iowa State football.
Kansas football just built like a megaplex facility. They have alums and donors that would probably give a company.
I think they do it for the basketball team. I don't know if they do it for the football team.
I think they would.
Iowa State ain't getting that.
Well, Iowa State, yeah.
That not happening. Arizona football feels pretty irrelevant. I know
Baylor's
basketball,
not getting that.
So Waco?
They got some oil. Central Florida.
Well, Central Florida, Iowa State, good deal. Yeah. Everybody else,
West Virginia.
I think West Virginia.
Cincinnati getting
You think
that?
West Virginia's got cash to buy a big jerseys? Coal miners putting that stuff on there?
I think somebody would step up.
That's a difficult part.
What's Joe Manchin doing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Do something for people of
Hey,
West Virginia.
Joe, help us out here, okay?
Loaded third hour of the program, and fourth we got Statter Story. A lot to get to. Dirt and Sprague back with more Hour 3 on the Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up?
Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly, poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
Today's not the time to address that issue. Today is about celebrating the upcoming football season and celebrating our 16 schools.
Brett Yormark, commissioner of the Big 12, at Media Day yesterday, saying now is not the time to talk about Brendan Sorsby. Many people thinking he's a coward here, but as many people pointed out as well, they're in the middle of litigation. They have sued Texas Tech, and that lawsuit is still pending.
Yeah, it's a difficult part where you want answers, but you're just not going to get them for a while. I like making fun of Brett Yormark because he seems like a quirky dude, and the Monster Energy deal is enough to make fun of him, so I'm going to stand there.
Who's stinking it up? Brett Yormark in the Big 12, brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services, who want to make sure your AC is working super hot both day and night now, and they have a tune-up special for just $89. Call Three Mountains. They have certified techs ready to help you beat the heat. Book your appointment today at threemountainshomservices.com.
Hey, everybody.
Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, a day off for the World Cup after all of the quarterfinal matchups were finalized on Tuesday. Argentina rallying from 2 down to Egypt with 3 goals after the 78th minute. Lionel Messi, his tournament-leading 8th goal, was the one to tie the match. They will face Switzerland after they beat Colombia on penalty kicks 4-3 after playing 120 minutes of scoreless soccer. Quarterfinal action at Wimbledon this morning. The men on court right now. Unseeded Jack Ferry from Great Britain taking the first set from 9th seed Kobeli of Italy. Taylor Fritz down a break, serving 3-5 to 2nd seed Alexander Zverev in the first set of the other quarter. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3, Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody.
God bless the beaver.
Call that the Fan Sports Network. We're having a great time here today. 2 hours in, 2 hours to go. Keith Smith will join us coming up about 26 minutes on the dot from now. We'll talk some NBA free agency with him. And the growing sentiment that it does genuinely appear that the Blazers will have their Ja Morant press conference in Las Vegas without the general manager of the team there.
I have confirmed that through sourcing that indeed they will be doing the Ja Morant media thing in Vegas.
They have not announced that yet, right? By the way, publicly, the Blazers. Did I miss an email or a press release? I don't feel like I saw that.
You know, they let off a lot of their PR teams, so their press releases are few and far between.
I also think they're going to try and hide this one for like a Friday news dump of like, oh, by the way, tomorrow at 11 a.m. before our first game, Ja Morant.
Yeah, and look,
that's a bad look.
You're still going to have your right before the season starts deal where everybody goes to the podium and, you know, we get people asking questions to whoever your two-way signing is going to be and what their career's been so far. But, yeah, dude, I mean, you can give me examples where this has happened in the past. This is different. This is Ja Morant. This is an all-NBA, all-star player who is coming to Portland basically because the last team didn't want him at all and chose to take the Jeremy Grant deal in trade of giving up a guy that franchise-wise is one of the most beloved players in their history.
Yes.
That's a little bit more than just like a standard signing or trade. That's a massive deal.
Right.
So they haven't announced it yet, but it does sound like they're going to do Ja Morant stuff in Vegas. I don't know who's going to be down there to be asking questions, and there will be no Joe Cronin because I was told last time he did this, Miami reporters were there, and they jumped all over, why don't you trade Dame to Miami? And it became kind of a circus in that regard.
Hey, you know what helps in that regard? Not having the press conference in Las Vegas and hosting it where media members locally can attend and ask questions about your decision-making in the offseason.
The entire league is in Vegas right now.
And how when did the trade go down?
Well, yeah, but it just got announced a couple days ago.
I get it.
Processed through the league.
Is Brad Stevens in Vegas right now?
I am not defending this. I'm just simply pointing out that they're probably not going to have media availability with Ja Morant here locally until the day, like the week before the season starts. And
You're 100% right. That's exactly how this is going to go. Joe Cronin won't probably talk until then, right? We're not going to hear from him until the end of September when everything's coming together.
Yeah.
I will say this. It's a point of criticism that I had of the last owner of the team. We never once heard her talk outside of a Shaden Sharp draft video. And that drove me nuts. I want to know where you're at. I want to know what your stance is, how you feel about the organization, your hopes and dreams, and wishes, all that. I want to know that. I will give major credit to Boston. Dude, Boston traded away their Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do 2 days later? Or maybe longer than that, but a couple days later.
Well, he had to wait for the trade to process.
And then it processed, and then what did they do?
They
had a press conference where they had to answer hard questions from the local media about, yo, this guy was Finals MVP, and you like, how did you do this? And you know who else was there?
Mm-hmm.
The governor, the head of the ownership group was at the press conference as well, answering questions about are these financially driven decisions. And so kudos to them for doing it. I guess we're going to run to Vegas and hide, even though our trade went down before the Jaylen Brown trade happened, and we've had plenty of time in order to get this.
It was announced before Jaylen Brown's trade.
Yes, we've had plenty of time to get this done, but now we have to do it in Las Vegas. It's a really bad look. The general manager needs to answer questions about how having 5 guards on the roster makes sense and how
he will.
Defensively Dame and Ja in the backcourt makes sense long term.
He will. It just will be in September, not, after their free agency trade season.
That's right.
Is
We're still got a lot of moves to come. I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of moves we're going to talk about come September.
Hey.
We got to wait for all the other moves to come through, and then we'll do our end of the offseason press conference because we're super busy right now.
I mean, do I find it a little frustrating and puzzling that you don't have a big press? Like, if you're in on Ja, whatever you make of Ja Morant.
I'm in on the trade. Let's see how it goes. I got no problem with it.
I'm in on it if you make the roster make sense. The roster doesn't make sense, so I'm kind of wondering, why are we doing this? No matter your opinion, if you're in on Ja Morant and the idea of what he can be, sans being in Memphis, cool. I do think the organization, and they will eventually, I do think they should be holding a Portland-based press conference for this.
Yes.
I understand everything is in Vegas. I understand they have set a precedent in the past of doing this. This is not... It's not Jeremy Grant and
this is
and
not
Thibault.
a normal
Ja Morant, and this is a 5-guard situation.
If you want to do the press, who's the center that they signed that nobody's going to remember his name?
Brendan Carlson.
Okay, Carlton's coming to town, right?
Carlson.
You want to do that one in Vegas? By all means, dude. I got no issue with it. He's going to play 6 minutes a night, and he's going to score 2 points.
I think he'll play a little bit more than 6 minutes.
And he's going to be gone after next season. Like, I don't care. Have that press conference in Las Vegas. Nobody cares, nor should they. This is a much bigger story we're talking about.
Why don't you go to Vegas than Dirt?
This story was so controversial and big that we had a columnist had to issue an apology over takes from the trade. That doesn't happen to Carlton signing to be our third-string center.
It's Carlson. Okay? I don't know.
He's Carlton to me now, okay? Yeah. Until he has a good game, he's going by Carlton.
Until he has 4 threes in a game.
You hit a 3, you can have your actual name back. Until then, you're Carlton because it's easier to remember.
You're not wrong. When a columnist is basically publicly reprimanded by the editor of the paper.
It's a very controversial move.
It obviously sparked a lot of conversation and still does. There are still people that are like, what are we doing here? I'm with you. Also, they will talk. It just won't be till September.
And nobody's going to pay attention to it because it'll be in the middle of football season. It'll be week 3, and it'll be like the week of Oregon, USC.
What's Oregon's biggest non-conference? Is it Boise State, their biggest non-conference, or is it Oklahoma State?
Either. I mean, what's bigger to you? They're kind of the same.
Yeah. In some ways, yeah. It'd be funny if they scheduled it a week of like...
Do you know who they play, though, the last week of September on the road?
It's USC, right?
USC the last week of September.
It'd be really funny if
that
weekend. Thursday of the USC game, they're
when everybody's focused on undefeated Oregon, undefeated USC.
This just happens to line up perfectly with our availability.
Here's Ja. Come on down. Let's answer some questions for you.
Media crowd's kind of light today. Are they in Los Angeles for a big football event? Is that what's happening?
Come on, man. Come on, Joe. You're better than that. Let's get back into a couple of things from Big 12 Media Day. I'm jonesing for football. You get guys in jerseys walking around answering questions. It's going to get me excited. One of the things I forgot about, to a certain extent, and then you're like, that's right, I can't wait to see how that looks, was DJ Lagway walking around in a Baylor jersey.
It was very odd.
That's going to take a while to get used to. Not that he was prolific at Florida, but he was such a big deal as a recruit and one of these like savior guys for the Gators. It did not go well. Coach gets fired. He's now at Baylor. We've seen these redemption stories in college football. Penix, Bo Nix. I go down the list of guys. Hell, even Dante Moore was terrible at UCLA. Lands at Oregon, and now it's pretty good, and he might be a top 3 pick in the draft next year.
Yep.
So just can he be that at Baylor? That was an interesting thought of mine. I also need to ask the question, do you believe now? Are you still believing? Eating your almonds?
Where it started and where it is today, I just, no.
No. That was an easy no.
I bought a Prime sweatshirt.
You have the sweatshirt.
I have the sweatshirt. When
do.
it starts getting chilly, I'll wear it again.
It does look like a very comfortable sweatshirt.
It's really it's one of the more comfortable sweatshirts I own.
I see you wearing it. I'm like, that looks cozy. That looks like a cozy sweatshirt.
I eat almonds.
You are
Not
a big
because of
almond
him,
guy.
but I've always liked almonds. But I eat almonds, and he makes me want to do it in his commercials. I love him in the Aflac thing with Saban. Why and what evidence do I have that is going to be any different? You're about to play a clip that exposes exactly what was going down, and I know what the opposing view is going to be. Well, medical scare. Was he coaching? If he was gone and not coaching, I get it. If he was there every week coaching, medical scare sucks. I'm sorry. This is an alarming admission that they never thought would come out, and now they're going to have to like play the media PR move of,
well, no, that's not what he meant.
You misunderstood what he was saying.
Like, not what he meant.
These are not the droids you're looking for. Like, if I'm a Colorado fan, this went from being one of the more fun things of my life to...
Yes, reviving the program.
It feels like, and I think some out there would be crossing their fingers because he's done a lot of good things. He has. I think people want this to end quietly.
He's done a lot of good things financially for the university in a short term.
He has made you matter.
Yes, but I would also argue that to a certain extent is already kind of worn off. Like the vision, if you go back and look at his first spring game in Colorado, I'll never forget it. It's an April spring. Colorado was what, a 1-win team the year before?
They were terrible.
As irrelevant as you could be. And then the spring game shows up in April and it's sold out and the celebrities on the sidelines. And it was a massive deal. You know who attended? Nobody went to their spring game this year.
Yeah.
And so already in year 3 you're seeing, and that's not the end all be all. I get it. It's just a spring game.
It shows you where the interest
is. But I think it's just
though.
like, dude, that was all in to like, oh. So he had a quote. He talked to Pete Thamel, Deion Sanders did, and he was asked about, can you turn Colorado around? And his quote was, it's already turned. You just ain't seeing the fruit. It's already there.
And I get what he is saying in some regards, but people are going to look at this from a win-loss perspective. So your fruit that you're talking about.
His win-loss record in 3 years is 16-21, and he's 9-18 in conference play.
Again, the fruit he's talking about are not things that people point to and celebrate. Now, some at the university do.
Yeah,
we cannot argue with the money they've made.
No doubt.
The uptick in admissions from students who have just seen this and go, I want to be around it.
No doubt about it.
The amount of donor money that's come in for football, right? The profile of the university in general, they were no different than Iowa State for most people.
No.
And now they're back to, hey, and not anymore, but for 2 years it was a real... Look at this, huh?
Yeah.
And now it's just in a spot where last year happens and it goes as poorly as it, everything does. His kid's not there, Hunter ain't there, and it's like, who do you point to now for that program? Is it Julian Lewis who we're about to play? I still think it's the head coach, which is fine in that sport, but you also got to be able to point to players, right? Dan Lanning and Dante Moore.
Yes.
Right? So I just think, and I might be wrong on this, this is just a feel. I think there's a lot of Colorado fans that are like, kind of know what to expect. It's going to be anywhere from 4 to 7 wins and nothing better. And, if you end up leaving, thank you. But also like, yeah, let's try to get a better coach.
It was a fun fever dream for 4 years of you were irrelevant either way, so you might as well be interesting in not winning games, although they did have a 9-win season there, so I'll be fair.
The 9-win season was good.
They went 4-8, 9-4, and then 3-9 last year, and so it's been 2 really bad years and 1 solid year that they were pretty formidable. That first year in the Big 12, they had a chance to go to the conference championship at the end of it, right? But to your point, that was Shedeur and Travis Hunter, and since they left, that ain't walking through the door. Last year, their recruiting class in the Big 12, there are 16 teams in the Big 12. They finished 14th. The only schools with a worse recruiting class than them were Central Florida and Oklahoma State, who went 1-11 and fired their head coach. They signed 1 above 3-star ranked recruit. That was it. Only 18 total commitments.
Jeez.
Iowa State had a better recruiting class. Cincinnati, Kansas, Kansas State, Arizona. Like, you go down the list, right? Everybody, Houston blew them out of the water. So it's just like that's the point of. I've always felt like this is a bit of a gimmick in terms of, one, the media attention. Now, it's not a gimmick financially for Colorado. Just for Sanders, of like, if you truly took this seriously, your name carries so much weight. Like, if you just tried, if you just half-assed your way.
You'd be in the top 25 every year.
Yes, every year. You're Deion bleeping Sanders, man. You walking into a living room is a big deal.
You shouldn't be losing to Kansas State.
No.
Like, their coach just quit because he couldn't handle it, and they still out-recruited you.
I've been to Manhattan, Kansas. They shouldn't beat you in recruiting in anything. There's nothing there. Here is, by the way, you talk about who's the face of their program right now. It's Julian Lewis, probably. He was one of, from 2 years ago, their notable recruits that they signed. He's their expected day one starter.
Guy.
They invited him to Big 12 Media Day. He's there yesterday, and he was asked about year 1 to year now going into year 2 in Colorado's offense.
My play, I'm actually looking at the defenses now. Last year we wasn't really looking at defenses as much, just kind of high school free ball and just out there playing football. But, it's a lot bigger than that now, so it should be fun.
Look. This is probably a 19-year-old kid who is not the most media trained. Like, you're just kind of lights on, microphones in your face. You maybe say something that you don't mean, because if you mean this.
He's in a hallway, by the way. He's not on the stage.
I know. This is not a stage answer.
Like
it's a one-on-one. It's a one-off TV reporter. You're not wrong there. If any sense of this is true,
I mean, why
your
would you
entire
think it's
coaching
not?
staff should be fired.
Okay, first of all, that's the other part of this.
Like,
how many coordinators has he gone through?
Well, Dion? I don't know. That's a good question.
This is year 4 for him, right?
He's going into year 4, yeah. He fired one early, I remember, in year 1.
He just fired Pat Shurmur.
They had Sean Lewis, who was there. Now I think he's the head coach at San Diego State. Yeah. Pat Shurmur, and I don't remember if he was...
gone through a couple DCs. Yeah. Warren Sapp just resigned.
He was jokingly saying for one of their non-conference games, he's got to worry about his coaches being on a curfew. He's not worried about the players. They're break
going to Atlanta.
Curfew. Atlanta, but I'm worried about my coaches on curfew, and it's like...
I found that to be a very odd... I don't care if you're joking or not. That's
That's just not something you say. Marcus Freeman saying that at Notre Dame. Hey, we're playing Miami in non-conference. I got to worry about my defensive coordinator partying all night.
Also, I'd still be worrying about my players.
What?
They're young guys with a lot of money, man.
You're a professional coach. You can't... What are you doing here?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of context with Dion and why he goes to Colorado. You knew if he was going to get a job in the Power Conference, he was going to get the kind of attention, right?
Yes.
Colorado or not, that was always going to be what was going to be. But you come out, you don't even wait past the first game. You win the first game, which you're a slight underdog. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like you were a 20-point underdog in that game.
And it happened to be against a team who had just played in the national championship in TCU.
And it was a road game, and your guys who you hyped up, they played out. They balled out. It was a fun game. I'll never forget that game.
Yep.
You chose after game 1 to do the "Do you believe now?" and I'm taking receipts. And, dude, one game. You won 3 more the rest of that year.
That Oregon-Colorado game that year is one of the most satisfying games that I've ever been at.
You made a player piss blood.
That's one of them.
They laughed at Oregon and then got bludgeoned in the game.
Undefeated Colorado came to town, and it was like 42-0 at halftime.
So, you set the tone after one game. It backfires in your face. You come out year 2. Okay, you did what I would say your ceiling is largely until you get...
Yeah.
A next-level X's and O's guy.
Went to the Alamo Bowl.
Colorado is at best a 9-win program in my mind, right?
Yes, completely agree.
And then you follow that up with another 4-win season, and you've got somebody coming out, your starting quarterback saying it was basically high school ball. We had no game plan. You have fired multiple coordinators. You blame everything on them. You just fire somebody. You hire somebody else. You bring in friends in with no real background. They don't stick around and hang out. We have enough evidence. If we can come to conclusions on other coaches at other programs after 3 seasons.
Right, say that's not good enough.
Yeah. For what he's paid, in some ways, again, he has bared the fruit. But we're talking at the end of the day of wins and losses, are we not?
Yes.
If he's going to do the you believe now because he wins, well, what do we believe now of a 3-year run going into year 4? I don't feel amazing about it. And I don't know what their ceiling is because I don't know who the hell is on their team anymore.
Well, maybe they're watching film this year, so their ceiling's a little bit higher.
Maybe it's 5 or 6 wins at best. Or maybe they're a surprise 8-win team. 8 wins would do him a service.
It'd be a great year.
You're going to keep rolling that over and hope that he eventually cares about it. But I'm with you on the recruiting thing. You've noted that the whole journey, and I just thought at some point he'd change, and it's been like Lincoln Riley in some capacity. He hasn't. Now, Lincoln has. USC's changed.
Yeah, they got their dollars and cents lined up. They're taking it more seriously. It's like, well, I'm glad it took you 4 years to figure out you got to recruit high school kids. We can have the debate, and we do constantly, about what is it high school recruiting, is it transfer portal, what's more. But there's always the correct answer is a blend of both. Now, you might say 60-40 leaning one way or 60-40 leaning the other way. You got to do both in order to survive in college football because you got to have young guys. You got to have depth. You know how many transfer recruits they brought in last year in their class?
All he has lived on is transfers.
43.
That's all he is. He is all in on the portal.
43.
He is telling you he does not care about high school recruiting. Remember the story? It was either year 1 or 2. He came out and said, "I can't go to the high schools.
Yeah, he's not going to go.
I'm too famous. Yeah, so I don't go to them.
They come to me."
That's an alarm.
Yeah.
I'm sounding the Dan Lanning in an in-between moment is flying from Eugene to God knows where, Idaho, to be on the sidelines of a game that he looks around and he goes, there are 48 people here. Why?
Yes.
But I need the 4-star
Kenyon
kid.
Sadiq's out there running around, and that guy looks like a freak.
He is an Adonis. Yeah. I need him on my team. If you don't have a coach willing to do that, I just find it very hard. You can win with transfers. We just watched Indiana do it. But I think there's a difference between what Cignetti's bringing and what Dion is bringing.
Because he coached all those guys, and not all of them, but a large majority of them, he brought them with him, and they had been in the system for 4 years. I think you're doing a new team every year.
Yeah, and I think Dion understands a lot, but I think Cignetti has shown there is a a different football brain.
Yeah, there's a
and
big
how
brain.
That guy, he's a computer.
Look at the big brain on Chad over there.
Big brain on Doug. But I think Dion, like, just not caring about the recruiting, paired with what the record has been, paired with your quarterback saying this out loud. Yeah, man. He has done a lot of good things for the university. There's no doubt. I think even if he is fired, this is a success because it's elevated their program and profile, and I think you can still go get a great coach after him.
Yeah, I've seen that theory floated out. Like, if he leaves, what are you going to do? And it's like, what do you mean, not recruit high school kids and bring in 40 new transfers every year and win 4 games? There's a lot of coaches who could do that at Colorado. A lot of them.
I think that's a good job.
That's a good job.
The conference is winnable.
Yes, it's open.
It's a beautiful campus.
Right.
You know you're getting backing. Dion got backing. Why would the next guy not be supported? It's a good job. So it's a big season for him, man, but it's definitely fizzled. I don't even know how many primetime games are they featured in.
Not very. I mean, to my knowledge, even from last year, it wasn't that often. A couple early in the year, and then it's like, oh, look at that, Colorado lost again.
Those pregame shows were shoved down our throats
Big
at
kickoff
Colorado. They had back-to-back weeks they hung out in Colorado.
Yeah, I just imagine somebody on Oregon's team saying, we didn't really watch any film last year. This year we're actually going to do that. I would lose my mind as a fan, and thank God we don't have a coach who does that. Let's get back into the NBA. What's going on with the Blazers and their 5 guards? Are they done? How do we feel about their offseason? And everything else going around the NBA, including all the talk about contracts and luxury taxes and all that. Keith Smith, our good friend, is going to join us to talk some NBA hoops next on 105.1 The Fan.
Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Big's Chicken. Try their smoked and fried wings tossed with a perfect dry rub served with a trio of killer sauces. Menus at bigschicken.com. First on the Fan. 6-team trade went down in the NBA on Tuesday that will send Chris Middleton back to the Wizards. D'Angelo Russell is headed to the Grizzlies. Karis LeVert going to the Bucks. Taurean Prince Gary Harris will end up with the Pistons. And Santi Aldama going to the Mavericks. Quarterfinal action at Wimbledon this morning right now on center court. Alexei Zverev taking the first set from Taylor Fritz 6-4. They are on serve. Fritz leading 2-1 in the second set. Unseeded Jack Ferry from Great Britain took set 1 from Kobeli of Italy, the 9th seed. They are on serve 4-all in the second set. I'm Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the
All right, welcome back in. It is 8:27 on the dot. Look at us. Are we pitching a no-no today? Did I just jinx it because I said no-no?
We were pitching one, but then certain somebody had a longer update, so we came back at an 0-1 date.
Bastard over there. With
had to give me all the Wimbledon scores.
Don't worry, he's getting ready to go to Palm Springs in October. You know, the jet lag swag. He's just jumping back on a bird, going to play some golf in sunny weather.
More of an off-air conversation. Very odd to tell me how jet lagged you still are, and then go, I'm going to be gone in October. Like, what?
Get your ass in here and get to work, huh? Let's do something. We do want to talk some NBA with our good buddy Keith Smith as we wait and see if we can get him on the horn. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Sprague. We still don't have...
We got shooters!
Not yet.
Let's go!
Not yet. Key answer. Not yet.
Trey Murphy in a video with Chet Holmgren working out goes to the rack, shoots a layup, and the coach he works in with goes, "What do you get paid for, Trey?"
Shooting.
They just want him to shoot.
Just shoot.
Just shoot the ball.
We can't afford him, though, because we can't move Tamani Kamara to the bench.
It would be Shaden. We don't want to lose Shaden Sharp.
We can't lose Shaden Sharp. Let's talk about all this now with our good buddy, Keith Smith. Spot Tracking Front Office Show, at Keith Smith NBA on Twitter, one of the best out there covering the league. He's been a good friend of the program for many years. Keith, good morning to you. Does the Blazers having 5 guards on their lineup right now make any sense to you?
Not really, no. Especially considering another one of their wings is a high-usage ball handler in Denny Avdia. So, it doesn't right now. Let's say that entire perimeter group doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay, Jaylen Brown's traded. I know it's a big thing in your orbit. You do a good job covering the league, but also giving commentary on the Celtics. He may not have gone for what people thought he would if you told him he was going to be traded a year ago. Can you help us make sense from a Portland angle of why not going in on a Jaylen Brown makes sense for a team that is desperate for wing play?
Yeah, I think there's a couple components. My guess is it just simply got a little too rich for their blood as far as the draft capital it would have taken. And yes, they do have some extra picks, but you're still talking about let's give up those picks to go. They just added a max player earlier this summer in John Morant for the next couple of seasons. And then to get to the matching salary, you're talking you're going to dip into some of your depth. Now, I just said it doesn't make a lot of sense to have all those guards on the roster, but I don't know how much they want to really get too deep into moving guys out. I'll say there's another component to this, too, that's something to keep an eye on with Portland, really from now all the way through the trade deadline is Denny Avdia is going to be due for a contract extension next year. He only makes just under $12 million. So even with the improved extension rules, you can only bump him to roughly in the range of $22 million in first-year salary. That's not going to be enough for Denny Avdia. So what I think Portland would like to do if they can get there is get off some of this extra money, create cap space next summer. Then what they can do is renegotiate and extend Denny Avdia. And if you had $60 million for Jaylen Brown on the books, you're not going to be able to do that. So I think that might have also factored in to some extent with Portland when you look at the overall, what it cost us a lot in terms of draft picks, depth, and we would have lost that flexibility to maybe retain Denny Avdia going forward.
Yeah, I certainly understand all those points. We're talking about Keith Smith, our good buddy covering the NBA, at Keith Smith NBA on Twitter. The tough part I have with it is just the Ja Morant $42 million. Like, they're clearly willing to go at a big salary, and I get that 60 for Brown is more expensive than Morant at 42, and there's also an additional third year on the deal, and Morant was only 2. On that, though, like we talked about it when it happened, like in a vacuum, I can understand it. It's a buying a stock low. He's only 26 years old. Like, let's roll the dice. Jeremy Grant wasn't doing a lot to help you win, and Chris Murray couldn't make a shot in an NBA game. So no issue there with the package. It's more about the idea of fit, and all of a sudden, when you do it, let's wait and see what the rest of the roster looks like. Now that nothing else has really happened outside of re-signing Robert Williams, I'm curious your thoughts on the Morant trade when it went down, and has it changed at all now, seeing that maybe there is a chance that all these guards actually do stick around?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little weird, right? Because you have now, you're adding Ja Morant, which in a lot of cases, teams would be adding a guy like that to be, here's the new face of the franchise. We're going to get this guy's value built back up and go. And I think for Portland, it really becomes all right, we're going into we bought him for nothing in effect, and we're going to try to rehab him. But now you've got Damian Lillard coming back, and we don't know what it'll look like, but presumably from what we've seen, it sounds like he's probably going to look a lot like the Damian Lillard we last saw. And now you have Drew Holiday as well, who's a veteran guy. He wants to win. Lillard wants to reestablish. Morant's trying to reestablish. Then you have Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe, who are in a lot of ways, they're trying to establish their careers and get them going and get things moving in the right direction. Sharpe is, at least he's signed, so he has that part handled. But Scoot Henderson's playing for his next contract, and that's very weird because one of those guys is probably not going to play very much unless their idea is, well, we're going to spot Lillard and Henderson quite a bit. Morant has injuries, but planning on that to be your plan to get all these guys enough time is a little weird. And like I said, that's before you even mention Avdia, who's essentially a playmaking wing who's going to have the ball a lot. It's a lot for Mike Inori as a first-time head coach to have to sort through and figure out for sure in his early stages of being on the job.
I feel like we've heard it before, but I'd love to write it down and never forget it. What are we looking at? Because you talk about Denny Avdia being extended. Now, Dirt, correct me if I'm wrong. You said, was it yesterday you'd pointed out that he might actually wait 2 more seasons?
Some people think that he might wait till if he's not an All-NBA guy, maybe wait till the full deal is up, but I don't know enough about
So, what are we looking at with a Denny extension? Because I think the organization, one, might be afraid of the extension with Jalen, even though that's 3 years down the road, and I don't think you should operate that way as a team. But 2, they don't want that amount because if you're going to extend Denny Avdia, that's not going to be a $100 million extension. What is Denny Avdia looking at? Let's assume, Keith, for argument's sake, let's say he makes third-team All-NBA next year. He was damn close to doing it this year. Let's just, for argument's sake, say he makes third-team All-NBA, has a very similar season. What are we looking at financially here in Portland with the Denny Avdia extension?
Yeah, but I'm checking. Give me 1 second because I need to check a date on when he actually got traded to the Blazers. So he is no longer eligible to get that bump in contract. Like you see a lot of these guys, they talk about getting that bump to the 35% supermax when they make All-NBA because he was not traded to Portland until after his rookie skill deal had ended, as far as what I'm seeing on here. So in order for that to be a thing for Portland, you're going to be in a position where what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to create cap space to renegotiate and extend him next summer. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're walking into him being an unrestricted free agent because he's not. Otherwise, you're getting 140% of his final year salary, which is just under $12 million. I'm doing some math on the fly here for you. So you're talking a first year salary of, barely $17 million. And then you can go up a little because they'll be under the average salary. So let's call it 20 to 21 million bucks is where they could probably get him at. That's not enough for Denny Avdia, not with what other guys at his level are making. So what you want to do if you're Portland is you want to create cap space for next summer. Then what you can do is you can take that cap space. Let's just say they can create $20 million in cap space. You can give it all to him. You bump next year's salary up to about $32 million. Then you extend him off that number, and that's going to get you up around $40 million or so. And that's more in the range of where we would think a player like him would start on an extension. So that's got to be one of the plans that they're thinking about. So if there's a trade that happens, I don't think it's going to happen now, but by the trade deadline where it's like, whoa, Portland got off a whole lot of money. They traded Drew Holiday and took almost nothing back for long-term salary. Well, that's probably why, because they're in a position now to maybe have cap space to renegotiate and extend Avdia, because otherwise an extension for him just simply isn't realistic.
What is a number for Keith Smith? Like, what's a hardline number, X amount per year for a Denny Avdia in your mind? If it's past, let's say it's a little past 40, like what would the number be for you where you're like, this much per year is just a little too rich for my blood?
Yeah, somewhere in the range of 40 to 45 average annual value feels about right to me. That's just below what a max extension would be for a guy with his years of service. It projects to start somewhere around $54 million or so. And then the nice thing is if you give him all that extra cap space this year and or going into next year rather, if that's the path they go, what a lot of times what they'll do is say, hey, we were going to do a 4-year, $160 million deal, which was going to pay you out at $40 million a year. But instead of that, we gave you $20 million now. So now that extension is going to become 4 years, $140 million, and that lowers the average annual value. We've seen that in these renegotiation and extensions happen before, where the guy's not like a clear max player. That's what happened with Miles Turner with the Pacers on his last deal with them. So that's kind of the range where you're looking at.
Interesting. Keith Smith, our guest. Last one I got for you, Keith. I'm just curious your thoughts on a lot of debate about the overall health of the NBA, and you've had 8 straight different champions in this historic NBA Finals, and then going into the offseason, you have one of the most prestigious organizations in the league have to break up their core who won a championship because they're taking up 70% of the salary cap. People complaining about second aprons, and these teams that are being built are kind of getting torn down. And just the idea of like it's leading to parity, but are fans upset? I understand both sides of it. I'm curious where you fall on this debate, especially after the Brown trade and the numbers that came from it in terms of how much of the salary cap they were taking up.
Sure, yeah. I think the owners are getting what they want here. One, the owners wanted to put some handcuffs on themselves for spending, because owners, unless there is a reason they can point to, like James Dolan did, which is, second apron scary, I can't spend into that, even though he has more money than he knows what to do with. He absolutely could have, but then they cite all these basketball restrictions, which are real. But if you're the Knicks, I don't know how much they're going to hurt you. So I think for him it is, all right, I don't want to spend, that money. And part of it also was you have a guy like Steve Ballmer who, all right, I'll, pay $500 million for my team, $500 million. Because what difference does it make to me? I just want to win and have a good team. So they put those on. But the parity part of it, what I always say was parity is great if you're a team that doesn't have those guys and you want to win and you want to be better. Parity stinks if you're a team that has those players and you don't want to lose them. So, like, right now, Celtics fans are like, man, we lost Jaylen Brown, we lost Drew Holiday, we lost Al Horford, we lost Kristaps Porzingis all in the last span of the last 2 off seasons. Well, but Portland's happy to have Holiday. The Warriors are happy to have Horford and Porzingis. Right. Sixers are happy to have Jaylen Brown. So as much as Celtics fans are fuming today, you know, a bunch of other teams that are happy. So I think the league is getting what they want. I think the league loves the fact that you can't sit here today. Remember, it was like 10 years ago. We could have been talking right now and said, hey, Cavs, Warriors, June, all right, we'll see you then. Yeah. Like, who cares what the rest of happens the rest of the year, because that's what we know we're going to be facing. Now we can't say that anymore. We have no confidence. I mean, the Thunder or Tyrese Halliburton straight away from being this all-time unstoppable dynasty to not even having a title at all. So it is, this is just a different world were in than any I can remember in my time covering the league.
Yeah, and kids are crying now because their all-time favorite player has to be traded because of percentages of cap don't make sense to ownership.
You got a lot of championships, Boston sports fans. Get out of here.
I think there's a give and take in the middle between all of these worlds that I totally would be open-minded to. Last one for you, and then we'll let you go because we appreciate the time.
Let me say one quick thing.
Yeah.
While those kids in Boston are crying, the kids in Philly are in line to get their Jalen Brown.
That's exactly right. Thank you.
It all balances off.
Was he drafted in Philly, Keith? Come on. What are we doing? Boston fans grew up with this guy.
You got podcast P. Embrace him, all right?
Hey, it's someone who grew up in the Boston area and loves most of the Boston area sports teams. No one wants to hear Boston sports fans tears and crying at all. I get it.
See, that's the Florida in you coming out now, Keith. I appreciate where you're coming from. Let me ask you this final one. I have a take, and I don't know if I'll end up being right. Because of the non-movement outside of re-signing Rob Will and getting Ja in a 5-guard situation, I don't believe they're going to get a Trey Murphy. I would be very surprised if they did, but in a good way. I also think it'd be very Blazer for them to sign a two-way guy at the wing and say, there's our offseason. Here we go. We're going to do it. Is the league kind of telling us we're not as rich as you think we are? And would you lean on the Blazers more likely to use these Buck picks that they traded for with the Dame trade than actually trade them? Because we all thought going into the summer, this is it. This is when you use and you strike. You're a 7 seed. Let's get better. Players presented themselves. They've done nothing. I'm starting to think they're just likely to use the picks because they're contractually valuable. They make sense for markets like Portland, and to use a term from Brad Stevens, optionality. Where would you be on banking on Portland with the Bucks picks that don't hit for a couple more years? Use them or trade them?
Certainly a lot more likely now to use them because they don't have Giannis anymore in Portland, in Milwaukee. So they're in a place where for Portland, those picks have more value. I will say, though, I'm not going to be surprised if just because they have kind of all this movable salary on their roster, if Portland does look at it and say, hey, you know what, the best thing to do is not get overloaded in picks where we become the Thunder. God forbid that happens. They're only one of the best teams in the league. But you don't want to be in a position where it's like, man, every couple of years we're having to waive or just give away these former draft picks because we just can't roster everybody under the sun. But, I mean, you look at it, Holiday and Lillard, those guys are still good players right now, but what are they going to be by the time those Bucks picks deliver? Are they even going to be there? What if John Morant doesn't get back to what he was? Now all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, now we have those picks, we have all this great cap flexibility, and we just kind of keep things moving. I think there's as you said that's the term, optionality. I do think Portland has really good optionality with the way they've structured things here over the last couple of transaction cycles.
So what Blazer fans love to hear, just wait 4 more years, all right? 4 more years, and then we'll start hitting on some of these picks. Because the last time we had top 10 picks, we landed Scoot and Shade, and it turned out so well. Keith Smith, our great friend, Spot Track, front office show, at Keith Smith NBA on Twitter. Thanks for making sense of all this and hopping on in Portland, man. We appreciate it. Let's do it again soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
There you go. Keith Smith. Lots to digest there. More likely than not to use the picks, the Denny Avdia extension conversation, which will kick up some dust here in the not-too-distant future. Back after this, 105.1 FM, The Fan.
The biggest questions of the day.
All right, welcome back in. Digging the vibes today. Not gonna lie, it's not that bad. I wasn't sure what to expect. Not that bad.
Ooh.
R.I.P. though to 15 years of hard work.
Turn this up a little bit. Oh, this is late night office sex vibes.
So I was playing this on the ship.
You and the lady, you've been dancing around it.
You want to think of, what was his name? Silviano?
Silviano.
You want to pull his hair?
I'm Silviano.
Ooh, call me Silviano tonight,
Silvano.
babe. Silvano.
Silvano.
Call me Silvano tonight.
Your woman looks like she needs Silvano.
No, we had Maria and Keener on the boat.
Keener's not
doing
a sexy man.
Keener? They were from the Philippines.
Ah.
Husband and wife.
They were musicians?
They were the entertainment.
Okay. How was the entertainment?
It was interesting.
Dude, this is definitely the offense romance that shouldn't exist.
Was it like a concert? Or did they do like a stand on my head and
No, they would do
spandex?
No, they would sing, and he was kind of a DJ, had a little keyboard, and it was at the Tropical Bar for happy hour.
Okay.
It was interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
There's a coworker on a printer photocopying her butt accidentally with the button as this music plays in some office in America.
Those are my cheeks. You know who they needed on the boat was DJ Gregarious, who was an absolute hit at the Fan Golf Classic.
Oh.
Yes, he was.
Dude, that guy.
We had a DJ at the Fan Golf Classic.
Elizabeth's husband.
Star of the show.
Who's?
Elizabeth's husband from our
client
sales party. Dude, star of the show.
Are you not remembering the client party?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't remember the DJ?
I don't remember.
I wasn't
the
even
DJ.
there, and I
How
heard
do you
stories
not
about the DJ.
Remember,
he had a whole outfit
he was
on.
the star of the client party.
Dude, you and I got back to the Red Shed at the Fan Golf Classic
I
early.
honestly don't remember.
That's because you had 19 wines.
He was on a booze cruise for 18 days, all right? Give him a break here.
He was in his sex shoes, standing next to coworkers, making them feel very uncomfortable.
Hello! We walked back into the Red Shed at the Fan Golf Classic, and this is before anybody else got into the Red Shed.
Oh, okay.
And he was like full mid-set, and I'm not kidding you, there's nobody in there. He's just doing a DJ set for him. Now, you can hear it if you're driving your cart by.
Gotcha.
And he's just, like, he's in Saturday Night Fever, man. He is just living it up in there with his hair and his pants. Like, this guy's throwing a party just for himself. This is great. Should have been there if you weren't there. Fan Golf Classic, great time. Denny Avdia is about to get paid. Now, it will take 1 year or 2 years.
He is right, though. I don't think you want to get to free agency.
So here, again, is the point. You need Denny Avdia to agree on that. And this is the problem. And I'm trying to remember like exactly what the verbiage was that Bobby Marks gave us. And Keith kind of hinted at it there. There is only a certain percentage that you can go up in your offer based on what your current salary is.
Correct.
Denny Avdia is on a what contract?
Very team friendly.
Very team-friendly contract. He's making like $12 million.
Yeah.
Now, there's a limit on how much you can go up above $12 million.
I thought Keith referenced 140% there at the end.
Which is not going to get him to where he wants to go financially.
Where does he want to go?
Into the $45 million range.
Does he want to, or does he want to be in the $50 million?
Maybe that's the case. Either way, you can't get there off of 12, and this is the point. So maybe he's right that you would have to rewrite the contract for the last year of the deal. So not this year, but next year. And then you give him the extension based off of that. It also behooves Denny Avdia to become an unrestricted free agent, does it not? Like if he plays well this year and plays well the year after that, there's a massive benefit for him waiting to sign.
If the number is going to be a $10 million gap
I could
between
get
now and that,
$37 million or $51 million. You're taking the $51 million, and we wouldn't, unless we, again, rewrite the last year of his deal, we can't offer him that. And so it's just a lot of this conversation about Jaylen Brown and where's the money going to go, and you got, like, it's just something that's noodling in the back of my mind of, like, there's no guarantee that this is long term.
I think I find the Jaylen Brown tying to Denny future contract stuff odd. It's it's like we don't want that deal because of the percentage of the cap it's going to take up is what you hear, right? And then it's 3 years later, you're going to have to extend Jaylen Brown. And I live in a vacuum in the NBA where 3 years is a new window.
Yeah, who cares about 3 years from now?
I don't. I really
either.
don't. I want this team to be good now. I want them to be as good as they can be.
Yeah.
I want them to be in a position where if San Antonio suffers a catastrophic injury and Oklahoma City gets banged up and you have this rare one-off opportunity to strike, be in a position to strike. Don't be, let's play the slow card and be good in 6 years. Like,
I'm so
I don't
glad
want
we
to play
still have
that
all
game.
those picks for 5 years from now.
But I find it odd. Be damned what the analytics say of a guy that's won a championship, been the finals MVP, helped carry them to the 2 seed, and we got to argue if he's better value than Derek White.
He's too expensive.
I'm like, because his analytics are worse than Derek White? What are we doing there?
His 29 points per game is 6th in MVP voting.
It's been funny to follow all this because nobody has had a better win than the eyeball test guy.
Yeah.
Because I do think some of this is just, it's falling on deaf ears, your analytics. Like sometimes the analytics don't tell the story. I watch a guy play, it does. And I don't know where we're at with Denny Avdia. If he goes to the, open free agency period, certainly. If he's going to command 50 to 53,
that's another debate we need to have.
We're just cool paying that?
That's another. If you're going to tell me you're skittish of paying Jaylen Brown 60,
being 60, you're cool with Denny Avdia at 50. Because if he makes all NBA next year, if I'm him, I'm hitting free agency.
Yes, you're waiting until free agency and you're getting paid.
And because he's going to be what? A year from now, he'll be how old? He'll be 27?
I believe so.
What's the prime of almost every player in NBA history?
Exactly.
28, 29, 27.
He's 25 years old. He'll turn 26 in January. So he will be 27 when he's in unrestricted
into his
free
final
agency.
season of unrestricted free agency.
27 going on 28.
And whether it's us or like 5 other teams, I find it hard that he's not going to command a $50 million a year salary. And I'm just asking people, what is your hard line on it?
There should be a number. If there's a number for Jaylen Brown, there needs to be a number for Denny.
I think legitimately people, and maybe they'll end up being right on this because he is still at a certain age. I think there's a decent amount of people, more than you would be willing to accept, that think he's as good as Jaylen Brown right now.
Oh, I certainly know those people exist. I disagree with them. You can argue maybe in 2 years from now, maybe even this year.
Maybe.
I also just have eyes and I watched him play this year. And I know he got in a car accident, and I saw one guy carry his team with bits and pieces to the 2 seed in the East and average 30 a game.
I know, but people point to the West being harder and Denny carrying the Blazers. And
we were the 9 seed in the Western
Conference. He also missed
Conference.
Decent little chunk of the season.
I get it. He's I'm not. Again, this is not a criticism of Denny Avdia. He's a very good player.
It's going to become quite the conversation, though, if they can't extend him next year.
Yeah, or one guy regresses a little bit because now all of a sudden there's other ball handlers and scorers around him, and the numbers dip down to 21 points per game, and your 3-point shooting percentage comes down. Like, there's stuff we got to keep an eye on here to see where they go. It's just I'm mentally ready, as you said yesterday. They're going to use the picks. They're totally using the picks.
Did you hear Keith?
2030.
How did he phrase it?
2030.
More likely than not.
Yeah, hold on.
Is that how he said it?
4 more years, baby. That's all we need to wait. 4 more years. Not the deadline, not the offseason, not the deadline, not the offseason, deadline, offseason. 4 years from now, we'll start having some fun. Loaded final hour. We got lots to get to, including Statter Story coming up at 9:27. Final hour next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
I mean, it had to be it after yesterday, right?
Yeah, it had to be.
10 RBIs. That's pretty unique.
You've never seen it. 10 RBIs by a Pirate. Lionel Hurd, the first Pirate with a 10 RBI game.
I couldn't even tell you what happened in the Giants game. I'm going to guess they lost.
Actually, I think they won.
Did they yesterday? We won a game.
Has been playing a slightly better baseball. There is Joe Block on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Ryan O'Hearn's third home run. He had 10 ribbies against my Bravos. He was 4-5 with 3 home runs. First player since RBA became an official stat in 1920 to drive in his team's first 10 runs. Also, fun fact, the Braves have a 2-game divisional lead. They could become the first team in Major League Baseball history to blow a 10-game lead before the All-Star break.
Sometimes you got to build your teammates up. I did see that the Mets scored 11 runs yesterday at home and lost for the first time in franchise history.
Layin' Wood Report is brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, and special orders, which I will be using because I got to build a fence. I'm going to document this. It's probably not going to be a fun journey for me because I'm not gifted. But you know who's gifted? Customer service over at Mr. Plywood off Southeast Stark Street. And check them out online, mrplywoodinc.com.
It's time.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, first off day of the World Cup after the final round of 16 matches on Tuesday saw Argentina rally with 3 goals after the 78th minute to beat Egypt 3-2. Lionel Messi getting his tournament-leading 8th goal to tie the match. They will face Switzerland in the quarterfinals, who bested Colombia on penalty kicks 4-3 after 120 minutes of scoreless soccer. Quarterfinals start tomorrow. Quarterfinal action at Wimbledon this morning. Right now, the last remaining American man, Taylor Fritz, down 2-0 to the second seed Sasha Zverev. The other quarterfinal features unseeded Jack Ferry against Koboli of Italy. They are tied 1-1 on serve in the third set. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the
Let's do this final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your hump days are off to a good start. We still got a lot to get to in the last hour of the show. I got stat or story coming up in a little bit. Love my story. Finding the right stat. I'm still noodling. I got a couple of options. I don't know. I'm trying to throw you guys off the scent trail. So we'll see if we can do that coming up about 20 minutes from now. But, hey, how about this one quickly? Mm-hmm. If you're driving around and you're like, you know what? I like country music. I like Zach Bryan. Zach Bryan's a big deal. He's doing a college stadium tour, and one of those college stadiums is Autzen Stadium in Eugene. And right now, if you text Zach, now people text him sometimes misspelled, Z-A-C-H. It's a Z-A-C-H Zach, not a C-K Zach. Make sure you get the right spelling. Z-A-C-H to 503-864-6326. You'll be entered for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see him at Autzen Stadium July 25th. 2026. That's in like a couple of weeks. It's also my wedding anniversary. So that's right around the corner. Text Zach to 503-864-6326.
Are you going to the concert as an anniversary thing?
I am not, no. Although I do love Zach Bryan.
You're a big Zach Bryan guy, huh?
I don't know. I listen to Zach Bryan. I quite enjoy Zach Bryan. He's not my number one on my big board of country music right now.
Him. He's good.
You know, he's not a Luke Combs for me.
I love his last album a little more than the one before that, or the album before that more than his.
He's
last
a big deal
album.
though. Him playing Autzen, for those who don't get country, big deal. I'll just say that. Big deal.
Sell it out.
He will sell everybody in that seat out. It will be packed.
Garth Brooks, huh?
Well, actually, yeah. Based on some of the allegations that came out against Garth Brooks, maybe leave it there.
Have I seen Zach Bryan? Is he in a sports orbit? Because I
was
saw this read, and I'm like, who is Zach Bryan?
He was in the sports orbit, but probably not one that you follow. He dated a gal from Barstool Sports. Remember the gal who had
this is that guy?
The NDA,
yeah.
He offered millions of dollars to not talk about their relationship? That's this guy.
Interesting.
Yeah, big deal though. Big country artist, big time. He's big time. I don't know why I went there. Anyways, he's at Autzen on July 25th. Speaking of,
he kind of looks like you.
He does. There's a resemblance there. I see.
It's like the face structure.
Yeah. He's got kind of a fat face. You can say it. It's all right. I don't have a fat face. It's okay. Say what you want to say.
I didn't
say it with
that.
your chest.
I
have tiny legs and I'm fat. So go ahead. Say it with your chest. It's okay. I get it. No, it's all right.
He just has a lot of Andy energy. He's got a lot of Andy energy.
He's an angry little man. Is that what you're saying?
Say that.
I think that's what you're saying. Are you shifting this to an angry little man? Is this a height joke?
Nobody said that.
I feel like it's a height joke right now. You know what's really blowing my mind or melting my mind currently? Did your kids ever go through a phase where they got super into Christmas music in the middle of summer? Because I'm there right now. Every night before bed, we've got to sing Santa Claus is coming to town. And
who started that?
I mean, who do you think?
I thought she's a Halloween person.
Yeah, but Christmas will still take the cake.
So
she's a holiday person. Christmas number. Halloween might be number 2 on her big board, but yeah.
So my daughter, my oldest, is watching Ted Lasso, and yesterday I was thrown off because I was taking laundry upstairs and I heard Christmas being sang, and I was like,
the Christmas episode's a great episode of
season
Lasso.
1 of Ted Lasso. I'm like, it's a good episode.
The little girl having the bad breath and trying to find the dentist in the neighborhoods knocking on the doors.
And her saving Ted from a depressing drinking excursion. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I was like, oh, that's good. We have talked about this. I think we have designed to have one of the days this month, Christmas and July Day. You know how they do that on the channel? They'll play like Elf.
Don't worry, I'm well aware on the Hallmark.
We have a Christmas in July Hops game coming up in the next homestand.
That seems fun.
Yeah.
So you're going to do one in the household?
Yeah.
The Spragues are going to have a Christmas in July?
I think we are.
What's it going to include?
Not
Music?
any decorations.
No, you're not going to do that.
No, probably like 2 movies.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never done it before.
So is the elf on the shelf in like a swimsuit?
Take his top
ripped?
off?
Can you take their clothes off?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Why would you need to take the elf on the shelf's clothes off?
We ended up getting an elf on the shelf last year.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Like the actual one or like the mock
You
one?
think I chose this life? You think I wanted this?
But are you helping with the...
I mean, at some point I have to. If I'm going to bed and it's in the same spot and I'm the last one up, it's like all of a sudden this burden has fallen on my lap now. Now I got to move this damn
Now
thing.
you need to figure out how to put the cereal on the
I
counter.
mean, we don't move the elf. The elf moves himself,
Well,
obviously, but I have to help him find a new place.
You have to navigate
Elf, why
for the
don't you
elf.
think about over here
Yes.
on this light fixture?
Or tell the elf, don't go here.
No.
Don't you dare do that.
Don't you dare go over there. You need to go over here. You got to help him out. You know, you got to be there. Lend a hand.
See, watching 2 movies and a random July day, I can do that. Like the singing of a song.
Here comes Santa Claus.
I
Here
hate that
comes
song
Santa Claus.
specifically.
Right down Santa Claus Lane. I'm not kidding. Every
Are
night.
you and your wife singing this like as a duet?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. I take the low octave. She takes the high. I'm the bottom.
I feel like we're getting the real dirt
Here
here.
comes Santa Claus.
And I
Here
feel like
comes
at
Santa
home,
Claus. Here comes Santa Claus Lane.
Andy really turns it up and becomes like really willing husband and
Super
father.
dad. Super dad's ready
But
to
in
sing.
in your mind, you're like, I can't believe this is happening. I hate this.
I'm looking out the window, and it's still sunny out at 9 p.m. as I'm trying to get my kid to go to sleep, and he's screaming, and all that will get him to stop screaming is, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane.
No, we've never, ever one time
Didn't go
with
through that
both
one?
kids went through that one.
Didn't go through that one?
No, because we didn't largely bring up Christmas at any given point.
Yeah, I don't really know how it even happened. It's just, we look up and we find ourselves here, and we battle through
You know, if you get a golf scholarship out of this kid, it was all worth it.
It's all worth it.
You do it every year if that's what it takes.
Here comes Santa Claus as many times as you want, buddy. Let's go. Play in the
Slide
Masters.
your fat ass down that chimney. Give him the best July Christmas of his
the
life.
jolliest group of this side of the nut house.
If he's playing Chuck Woods' kid in the future, that's all you want.
Do we commend or critique Charles Barkley declining the Kelsey Taylor Swift wedding invite? So he was on The Fanatic in Philly.
Yeah.
I think this was yesterday.
Yep.
And he was asked about this, this big wedding and all that. His quote was, which by the way I love, "I don't go to weddings or funerals." But I did get an invite.
Whose funeral has he attended, though?
I got follow-ups.
Yeah.
I politely declined because I thought it was going to be a crap show. I love Travis and Jason. I've only met Taylor once. But yeah, I did get an invite. I said, that's just too much. I just want to hang out and play golf. I don't want to dress up and all that other stuff. But I appreciate the invite. That was special. So he says he doesn't attend weddings or funerals, and he was invited to the wedding of the century and turned it down.
I commend him greatly on this. Everybody that got an invite, sans Charles Barkley, I think went to this. I've seen that people that didn't get invited are really frustrated that they didn't get the invite.
It became the ultimate click.
Because,
are you in or are you not in?
I talked about this on Monday, and I jokingly was like, I had a pretty busy weekend. I do the 4th of July, and then I had to fly to New York, and I had to fly back to
go
the
to
show.
Swift's wedding. You're Swiftie.
But, part of the segment that I did with that was, why is Dean Blandino at this wedding?
It's absolutely stupid.
I could not get all
Good
the
for
people,
Charles Barkley to saying no to this
Mike
nonsense.
Vrabel, fill in the blank head
Why is
coach.
Mike Vrabel there? He never coached Travis Kelce.
But I get it. I
Ross
understand.
Tucker was at the wedding. Why is Ross Tucker at your wedding?
This is my whole point.
We have
There's
jumped
a
the ship
cutoff
here.
line.
Yes.
And Dean Blandino is my cutoff line.
That's a line.
Where you don't have a relationship with Dean Blandino. No. You just have a quota of bodies you need to meet.
Yeah, you filled an NBA arena.
And Taylor said, I don't know as many as you. And he was like, well, I'll just send an invite to the entire NFL, babe. And he did. And Dean Blandino said,
Wait,
I get to dress up in a swanky suit and go to Madison Square Garden and watch you get married in front of Adam Sandler?
You're inviting me?
I'm in.
Dude, it was so funny being around my niece this weekend because this was such a big deal to be discussed at the 4th of July family get-together. And then my favorite anecdote of the entire thing was her telling me that a friend of theirs, and like I'm probably going to misquote this because it was such a game of telephone that it's almost hard to keep track.
Right.
But it was basically like, well, a friend of mine, her mom's best friend from childhood is actually at the wedding. And I'm like, all right, wait, okay, hold on. Do that Kevin Bacon thing again. So a friend of yours, her mom, her friend from... But
her
then,
best friend's
right,
mom.
so I'm like trying to follow these lines. And I'm like, at this point now I'm curious. I'm like, well, who is it? Because there's just some kind of a sports bubble wedding. So I'm like, is it somebody in sports? Do I know this? Come to find out that her mom's best friend's friend from childhood, friend, this and that, is married to Greg Olson. And she was like, he was at the wedding. It's like, what?
Greg Olson was at the wedding.
Greg Olson was
But
at
I
the
get
wedding.
It. Tight end.
Tight end to tight end.
I get it.
You invite another tight end.
Dean Blandino should never be at that wedding.
There is no chance.
I can't get over that.
Maybe we'll get video footage that proves this wrong. Okay, maybe that's the case. I said at the end of last week I'd only been to one Disney-related wedding and it ended in a divorce. And so you got like a magical kingdom castle in Madison Square Garden. What are you, 12? Grow up, Peter Pan.
A Disney wedding.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Have I heard this story?
There's a princess vibe to it. Like I want to be on a balcony, and it didn't end well. And most of us knew it.
This was the wedding, and then like it ended in divorce.
At the wedding, we all knew at the wedding it was going to end in divorce, and then it ended in divorce.
The carriage turned into the pumpkin.
The carriage was the pumpkin, yeah.
And the stepmom ended up winning.
There's a bit of a hybrid castle and a balcony situation. I'm like, are we Rapunzel right now? I don't know what's happening.
What?
This is weird.
Do I know this person?
3, 2, 1. No, you do not know the person.
So many questions.
They had a castle
What were
in
you wearing?
I was wearing a normal suit, hammered off my ass on the open bar, laughing at everything that was going on because I was not yet married,
Were
having
they
a great
dancing
time.
like Disney music?
I don't want to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about. To be honest with you.
I want to live in this.
Wish upon a star?
I did not wish upon a star.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Were we wearing Mickey ears?
No Mickey ears
as
were
rice
worn.
was being
It was
thrown?
mainly Disney theme is not right. It was a princess vibe to it. Like there wanted to
Where
be.
do we get princess stuff from?
We're connecting dots now. Okay. Anyways, my point being that wedding ended in divorce. This one's going to end in a divorce. We all know that it will. And the main
You
giveaway
think this is going to end in divorce?
Without a doubt, they're going to get divorced. There is 0% chance that this marriage lasts a lifetime. 0%. Mark my words. Save it. Put it on a yellow sticky note and slap it on the wall. There's 0% chance it lasts a lifetime.
If Jay-Z and Beyonce can make it past his infidelity, don't you doubt Travis and Taylor?
One of those people is a little more financially set than the other. I want to see the prenup that he had to sign.
Is his last name Swift now? Is the big bank take little bank situation in play?
It would be really. If I were him, I would do it. Dude, you know how powerful that
That
last
would
name
be
is?
the all-time
powerful?
highest-selling
Thank you.
NFL
And how much money is he
jersey.
making off of that thing?
Well, do they have a prenup and is he getting...
He signed it. Like, they literally made him sign a
I know,
prenup.
I know.
She's worth hundreds of millions of
she's
dollars.
a billionaire.
Yeah.
If he decides to do that and put Swift on he has to change his number to 13.
That would be the highest
They
grossing.
could not print enough of those jerseys.
My point exactly. I would do it. My jersey would be literally everywhere.
So
but
back to the Disney wedding real quick.
yeah, sure, go ahead. Anyways, this is going to end in divorce. Good for Charles Barkley for saying no, because unless we get video evidence to prove otherwise, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this wedding sucked. And it was just a hoot. Like, we just want to be...
First of all, it's at Madison Square Garden. It couldn't have been
in
that
an
bad.
NBA arena? You want to go to a wedding in an NBA arena? How long did it last?
Well, but they have I think they have extended.
You got to go into the
rooms.
castle. You got to go hang out in that castle room that they built.
I don't think the Knicks
Hey,
logo.
let's go hang out in the castle over here, guys. You guys want to play Dungeons and Dragons in the castle?
I don't think the Knicks logo's on the court and we're all sitting in the 300 section. I don't think that's how that was arranged.
Is that a pumpkin carriage you're driving out here?
If you got invited, you would go.
12?
If I got invited, I would have gone.
Well, I'm different. I'm not famous and I'm not a celebrity.
I would have paid my way through it.
It would have created great content for the show to say that you were there. If I'm Charles Barkley, no, I'm not going to this wedding.
You know those cameras?
18 holes or being in a miserable suit with people I don't know for 4 hours.
He knows people there.
There's some.
You know those cameras they catch politicians or CEOs? They sit at dinners with them and they get them to confess stuff and then it goes viral and that person gets in trouble. I would wear one of those at the wedding.
Just to see who you can incriminate?
Just to show you what the wedding really was.
Yeah. I want the behind the scenes. Give me the behind the scenes.
So speaking of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How many years did the Disney princess last?
2.5?
Oh.
3, maybe 3 if I'm getting aggressive.
And
maybe
this is
three.
a pro-Disney guy, or is he just...
Gal was pro-Disney.
No,
Is
but was
he
he
your friend?
on board?
Is he a big
It's
Disney
not friends.
guy?
It's not friends. It's not a friend's wedding. It was a wedding in the family. There was a family wedding that this is the case. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at
That's
that.
fine. I'm not asking for names.
He was not the
he a
Disney person.
guy?
He's not in my family. She's in my family. No, I've already said more. And we were all there like, this is a little weird. This is a little uncomfortable. Why is there a balcony? I don't. He went along with
so
it.
she walks out on the balcony and he's down like...
He's down
my
like,
love.
Rapunzel, lend down your hair.
Did she fling her hair down?
I don't remember hair flinging, but I was really hammered. So... I had to drink my way through
Did
that
you guys
one.
have an idea that this was what the wedding was going to be before the wedding?
There's a bit of a gist to it, a little bit of a vibe, although the entire wedding was ruined because it was on the day of a Nebraska football game that they lost. So the morning of the day, they played a game at 9 a.m. and lost on a last-second field goal, and the vibes for the rest of the day were just out the window.
Really?
Just like, take us home. Nobody wants to be here anymore. I can't remember who they lost to, but I remember we were all in the hotel lobby watching the game together before heading over to the wedding, and they got beat at the last second. And it was like, this is a horrible omen, dude.
Go Big
All
Red.
these people are here, and all of their days are now ruined. So have fun with that the rest
If
of the
she
day.
throws another, if she gets married again,
Yeah.
I don't know if the family should be going.
Got to boycott that one.
Dude, if you go with a Rapunzel themed Disney type wedding and you're divorced under 3 years, you've kind of lost my I'm going to your next wedding vibe.
Where's this wedding taking place?
What's the theme this year?
How
Are we doing Aladdin?
How much your ticket price is going to cost to get there?
Who's going to ride the
well,
carpet?
especially you got 2 little ones now. You got to buy tickets. Well, that's 4 airline tickets.
Now this is adding up relatively quickly.
Or she just leaned into it and did destination wedding at a Disney park.
Then I'm even harder out on that. All of a sudden, I got my kids at Disney, and they're going to want to come back to Disney. Now I'm screwed.
Dude.
Now I got Disney kids. I don't want Disney kids.
Yeah,
it was a thing.
That's certainly a choice.
It was a moment in time, man. It's a moment in time I'll never
hope
forget.
nobody in your family heard this and clips it and sends it to her.
I think we're all right. We'll be okay.
You never respond to people on text anyway.
Exactly. They'll never hear from me. Can we all pile on with somebody asking the ethics behind this? Not Disney weddings or Charles Barkley not attending Taylor Swift's wedding. So, do you remember a couple of years ago when McNeese State went on a run in the tournament?
Yes.
2 years ago?
Yeah. Sweet 16, right?
Sweet 16, I think. Will Wade was there doing his shady Will Wade stuff.
No, he's doing more shady Will Wade stuff.
He's not stopping.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they had, though, that became kind of famous? Remember their student manager?
Yeah, and he had the big
boom box.
Boom box.
He was a McNeese State student.
Yes.
Who was their student manager.
Yes.
Who then became kind of this famous. He got NIL deals
Should be
out of
noted,
it.
he stole the idea from Trent Williams, but okay.
I mean, he did. The boombox saying he was this goofy-looking nerd kid walking out in front of these 6'7" basketball players. It was just a funny spectacle, right? And he became he was in the One Shining Moment video at the end. It was such a big deal. It came out last week that Will Wade recruited this kid to transfer to LSU to come be their student manager.
Well, because he went to McNeese to NC State.
He was at NC State. This kid stayed at McNeese. He was still at. He didn't follow Will Wade.
From McNeese.
He's been at McNeese, and now he's convinced him to come transfer to LSU and come be the student manager with the boombox. And
how do you not do it if you're the kid?
I mean, come on, man, turn
you're
your back on the university.
Guy at LSU. I'm all over that opportunity.
You're gonna do this.
This is the Taylor Swift of weddings.
Your pro portal.
Yeah, dude, I'm all
student manager portal's okay.
Yeah,
it's not unethical.
If I was a student manager and I was a sophomore at, say, Oregon State, and Joyner
bounces to go
Joyner
coach.
bounces to
Indiana.
To Indiana. There you go. And he goes, I know you got 2 years left in your undergrad, but could be a real future here. I love what you do. You understand how we operate. I'd love for you to transfer to Indiana. I would be like, show me what office to go do this. I'm gone.
Swag, do you agree? Would you transfer too?
I think so.
Yeah.
Especially.
Why would you not?
Why would you not?
Man.
I think you're dipping into some NIL too at that point.
Dude, you're thinking that's going to
he's for sure going to get an NIL deal.
Of course.
LSU, yeah.
You think this is going to become an assistant job at some point. Now I'm a head coach.
This guy's drawing up plays on the sidelines now?
In 20 years, when
How did we
I'm
get
the new
there?
Dusty May, they're going to say, what changed in your life? And I'll say, I portaled as a sophomore undergrad from McNeese to LSU
How'd you get
to
here?
carry a boombox.
I was a boombox guy.
That's Dan Lanning's, I drove to Pittsburgh, right? Like, that's your story.
Now I'm a head coach at Duke.
I think you do it. Do you not?
Well,
If
now,
Dan Lanning
now
asked
that
you to
you've
join,
spun this into me being the head coach at Duke, I might have to say yes to this deal.
what's a region of the country you never want to live in?
Ooh.
Give me just a state. Just throw a state at me. You have no interest ever.
Iowa.
That is depressing. Let's say Dan Lanning reaches out today after our show.
Hey,
and
dirt
says,
rat.
we really want you to head up strategic comm/football operations. We got him, boys. You are telling me at 5 o'clock tonight that you've quit.
I'm going to Iowa.
I am doing a solo show the rest of this week.
But
You're
again,
in Eugene, and then Dan Lanning goes to Iowa.
Challenge flag getting thrown.
You're singing "Here Comes Santa Claus" in Iowa City. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Get out of here. I got loyalty in my DNA. I'm like Kendrick Lamar. Statter story next on The Fan.
George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, did you know there is a new women's professional baseball league that is ready to debut on August the 1st?
What?
Today, the 4 teams with their mascots and logos were announced. It'll be the New York Heights, the San Francisco Firebells, the Los Angeles Queens, and the Boston Hunters. And a couple of the biggest names. Monet Davis of Little League World Series fame will start in the outfield.
Monet Davis?
Yes.
God, I haven't heard that name in 10 years.
August 1st, they begin play.
I just watched Portland against whoever they just played in the softball league. They struck out Brady's niece.
We have a softball team now?
We do.
The Portland Cascade.
Yeah. Where do they play?
They play at the Hops
play at
Old
Hops.
Ballpark.
Oh, okay. How about that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. How about this? Florida came in ranked 3rd in the nation for animal-related deaths over a 26-year period. According to the website Outforia, analyzed CDC mortality data from 99 to 2024, found that 6,080 animal-related deaths were recorded across the United States during that time. Texas has the highest number of animal-related deaths with 726, followed by California with 414, and Florida ranked 3rd, 346 animal-related deaths.
Coming up next week, we have the Home Run Derby on Monday night.
Yes, we
Netflix.
do.
It's right around the corner. It's on Netflix. Now, they've decided to go with a chain instead of a trophy to the winner, which I think is really dumb. I think you'd rather have a trophy on your mantle than some giant, weird-looking chain that you would never wear in public. They've also announced a chain mobile that they will be driving from city to city in the Northeast leading up to the All-Star Game in Philly. And then last but not least, Netflix announced that Michael Irvin will be joining the crew to call home runs for Netflix.
That makes sense.
And as long as we give him cocaine, I think I'm okay with it.
There you go, your update from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Network.
That's right, folks. It is Stat or Story time, as always, on a Wednesday morning at 9:27 a.m., slightly after that. Does anybody want to start today? You want me to start today?
I can start.
You want to start, Swag? Why don't you start? You haven't done a Stat or Story in a while.
All right. Your number is 71.
71.
Is it the total number of double-doubles, including the playoffs, in the career of one Jaylen Brown? Or is it...
Bad player, though.
The production in thousands of tons of blueberries by the state of Oregon.
Look at us.
The second highest blueberry-producing state. It is National Blueberry Day.
Wow.
71, you said?
71,000 tons.
That's a lot of blueberries. It's also a lot of double-doubles. They've had a lot of playoff games.
Is it a lot of double-doubles?
I mean, how many we did the math that
He's been
LeBron
in the
has played
league for-
300 career-ish career playoff games, and he came in 2004 and went to 9 straight NBA Finals.
Yeah. I'm going to say this
I'm going to go Story.
I'm going
to go Story. Give me Story.
Yeah, I think it is.
71's too high for double doubles.
I think it is a story. I'm gonna fade you and go Stat.
Dirt.
Yeah. Wow. Good fade.
71 double-doubles in
Pretty
the
good.
career of Jaylen Brown.
How many
including
career playoff
the
games?
Playoffs. Like 134 career playoff
So
games.
half the time he's having a double-double.
No.
It's all
Including
games.
including the
Confused me there
playoffs.
with why
Got
you
it.
worded that.
Got it. Okay.
It's
Makes sense.
all the games.
Got
yeah.
it.
Yes. But it is National Blueberry Day. There are only 8 states in the United States that commercially produce blueberries. Oregon, second behind Washington in the production of blueberries, 64,500 tons of blueberries. produced by Oregon. Washington is just shy of 69,000 tons.
Anybody ever wonder where they juiced the little girl from Willy Wonka when they rolled her away?
Yeah, where'd she go?
Yeah, but like, how do you juice a human? If I needed to be juiced, would you juice me?
They're coming out with a Netflix reality show. Do you see that? That's like a Willy Wonka theme.
Like you just go,
like you're going through the chocolate factory, and then if you lose something, they send you off in a hot air balloon.
If you put me in a chocolate pond and suck me up a tube, I'm terrified. I want nothing to do with that, dude. That fat kid in that tube.
You want to be in that tube?
That's one of my all-time. I would be very claustrophobic in there. I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
You know,
suck that chocolate.
I was coming up with my top 5 worst movie deaths that I've experienced in my life because I've been watching Star Wars and an Ewok got shot by a blaster, and I was like, I remember that moment, seeing that as a kid, how sad I was. That teddy bear had been murdered, and I think that's a top 5 death in a movie of my life.
Those things are really cute.
Where do blueberries?
Hardball's got to be in there.
Where do blueberries rank in your berry rankings?
It's not higher than a strawberry. It's not higher than a raspberry.
But if they're crisp and sweet,
I'm not anti-blueberry, but it's just not. It's
a peak blueberry's got to be in a conversation.
I'd take a blueberry over a blackberry, probably.
Full of antioxidants, very healthy.
Very healthy.
Very healthy among the berries.
I had so many blueberries that yesterday I had to put some in my freezer because they were going to go bad if I kept them in the fridge.
They're growing like crazy, dude. We're all over the place.
It is blueberry season.
Yeah.
Now, is there a fruit that goes from like pretty top end to one of the worst more than a blueberry?
What do you mean?
There's a slippery slope there. If
Dude,
it's a little tart,
mushy, flavorless,
or if it's
blushy,
yeah. If you get it too early or too late, but I think you can make that argument with a lot of fruits.
Sure,
like a banana getting mushy, a mushy banana or a green banana.
That's when you throw it in the smoothie.
Exactly. You got to find some other reasoning for it. I think I go third on my berry rankings. I know Swag won't agree. I'll go strawberry 1, raspberry 2, blueberry 3. If you put a nice juicy raspberry in front of me and then a blueberry, I think I'm grabbing
I'm going the raspberry.
I'm grabbing the raspberry first. Talk about a fruit though that can be very hit and miss in terms of how quickly is that thing going to spoil. You better eat those damn things.
Yeah, raspberries don't have too long of a shelf.
That
Once
shelf
they're
life is
ripe,
short.
you better use them.
I usually forget for the first 2 days, and then you realize that you haven't eaten any for 2 days, and I eat the entire carton of
blueberries
raspberries.
will hold up for a little while.
Are we mispronouncing raspberry?
No.
The P is always
the P is silent.
Raspberry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a P in there.
It's a raspy berry.
It's a raspberry.
All right, I'll jump in next. Here we go. Your number, ladies and gentlemen, is 42. 42.
Okay.
Is it Jackie Robinson? Yes, but not the question. Is it the get-in ticket price for a new world's largest all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet that is open in Las Vegas, where they have 24 ice cream flavors, $42, all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet?
How bad is the stomachache there?
Or is it the high point total, if I can speak, of Ja Morant last season in an individual game?
I'm going to go story.
I'm going to go story too.
Double story?
I don't think Ja got
my
the 40.
bud. I'm going to go story.
You're going to go double story? All right, final answer?
Jinxed us.
Finally, hold on, I got to find my my buzzer here. Oh, yeah. Double dip your chip. Ready? Yeah, it is a story. $42 is the get-in price. Are we interested in an all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet? It's coming to Las Vegas at the Museum of Ice Cream.
Not at all.
In Las Vegas. Here's what you're going to get. 24 ice cream flavors to choose from, including Dole Whip, plus 48 different toppings that can go on it. $42 is the beginning ticket, and it can give you all the ice cream that you would like to eat.
Why is that a beginning ticket?
I don't know. What's the more luxurious?
What?
I don't know.
Unless you're saying I get booze at some point.
I don't know if I've ever gotten, I certainly love ice cream, right? Like, who doesn't love ice cream?
Who doesn't love ice cream, but my goodness.
Once you've eaten enough ice cream, it's an immediate, all right, that's enough. And usually it's about one, like a double scoop,
2 or 3
waffle
scoops
cone.
at max.
And one scoop sometimes does the job.
I'm
and you're
good
like,
on one,
that's
dude.
good, man. Like on a hot day, especially, you're like, all right, I'm kind of full.
Well, okay, so
I got a gut bomb now. By the way, 40 was his high last year in Philly. Ja Morant had 40 in a game.
So $42 for an all-you-can-eat ice cream experience, okay? And yeah, they'll have every topping, all these flavors.
Yeah.
A tub. A Tillamook tub.
Yeah, what's a Tillamook tub?
It's
about
$6
$7?
or $7.
Yeah. Ben and Jerry's ones are pretty spendy.
So I'm going to eat 7 or 6 worth
Yeah, but that's
of
what, a
those?
pint? Like
Right.
a pint of Ben & Jerry's is like, what, $7.50 or something
Right.
retail?
And if you eat an entire pint of that, That's
plenty. You're done
Dude,
for the
that's
night.
I'm not
for
moving
me.
for an hour.
It's nap time.
What a ripoff!
Yeah, it seems like a really bad deal,
This
does
is
it
a
not?
ripoff. If this was $20, I'd get it.
Of all the things you could eat,
You don't eat
ice
that.
cream and dessert are like that's down the list of stuff.
Yeah.
I want something nice and safe, like something good but not overwhelming. Like Chinese food, by all means, dude.
Let's
Breakfast
go.
we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
By all
Taco bar,
means.
all you can eat taco bar.
All for it. Ice cream? I don't need an all you can eat ice cream.
If you gave
plate.
me sweets as a choice at this price point, even though I don't like it, it's pie.
If you had unlimited pies to choose from, all you could eat, that makes more sense.
Pie, I get.
Yeah.
Ice cream?
Grab like 5 slices at a time on a plate.
Oh, I mean, I'm probably trying every single slice except pecan.
You know what we need to bring back? Sizzler. Miss it, man. All you can eat.
I think they
All
still
you can eat
exist.
steak and shrimp. Let's go.
Pizza's coming back with a buffet.
Let's go, baby. All right, what do you got, Sprague?
All right, your number is 7. 7. Is it the assists per game that Darren Peterson is currently averaging for the Utah Jazz in their early summer league action?
I still think you're making this up. I don't think it's actually happening.
No, he's been balling.
Or is it the minimal amount of centimeter height in high heels that people had to wear in the high heel race during Madrid's Pride Week on Thursday?
We had a high heel race,
We had high heel race.
7 centimeters.
And if you're putting on those high heels, they better be at
7
least
centimeters.
7.
Can you show me on your fingers 7 centimeters? Can you ballpark that one for me,
I'm
Swag?
trying to ballpark here. I'm trying to do some
Show me
quick
your
math.
length. Ballpark it. We talking like here? We talking here?
No, you're talking.
for some,
I have no frame.
This is 8 inches for
centimeters.
some.
I have no frame of reference of how big 7 centimeters is. None at all. Somebody get a ruler. Is there a ruler in here?
Well,
I'm going to go
1
story.
foot.
Give me story. Final answer.
I was going to say, I don't think that's any more than 2 inches.
It's 2.75.
And I don't think Darren Peterson's played a summer league game
But you're
because this
running.
doesn't exist.
It's a race.
No,
it's
I
a
understand
running
that.
race and
High
drag.
heels. I'm going to go stat.
Okay. In the order of operation, Dirt, your answer.
For today. That's tough.
Swag, it is correct. It is a stat. Darren Peterson is averaging 7 assists per game. He's also averaging 26.5 points on 14.5 shots.
He's been balling.
7 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and a steal per game.
Glad we didn't have a first-round pick.
We were never going to get him.
You never know.
Yes, the people are racing for Pride Week in Madrid. Participants wearing high heels of at least 10 centimeters, which is 3.9
yes,
inches
I was
high.
going to say.
So almost
2.75
4-inch heels they're running in. I can't think of anything to break my ankle more than putting on 4-inch high heels and having to run as fast as I can.
That's horrible.
I don't know if I can walk in 4-inch high heels.
Dude, anytime my wife puts on some sort of shoe of that, you just like, how? What?
Your wife wear red bottoms?
Like, what are red bottoms? Is that a kind of shoe?
It's a very high-end high heel.
No, she does not wear red bottoms. High heels don't come out very often in our household.
Oh.
But a random
anniversary?
random Disney wedding might happen, where you find yourself want to be under an enchanted sea.
If you wish
under the sea.
Star.
Under the sea.
Dude, playing If You Wish Upon a Star with a divorce 2 years later is a depressing scene.
Didn't wish on the right star.
What happened? My prince cheated on my best friend. What happened? He was having sex with the genie.
What? You say he was having sex with cheese? Is that what you said?
Man, I thought Apu was just a happy monkey.
Sleeping?
No, it wasn't.
He's sleeping with the cheese?
He was in bestiality.
What?
Flounder in his lips. Found him in the living room. In a fish tank. Couldn't believe it.
It's a wrap!
There you go. Sadder story every Wednesday at 9:27. Let's send you on your way on a Wednesday. What else is coming up in the sports world tonight? Some final thoughts as we close up the show. Next on 105.1 FM The Fan. All right, welcome back in. 9:46 on your Wednesday morning. Got some leftovers we haven't got to the last 2 days. Some things we'll revisit on the show tomorrow. We'll be a Magic Hat Thursday, so get ready for that. 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll have the Magic Hat.
I'm excited for it. I got my Magic Hat stuff basically lined up.
You're already locked and loaded, ready to go. I got a really good one in there that I'm excited to talk about, but there's still some noodling. I got a little bit more, but
trying to
it'll
find
be
some
here.
audio. I always love having audio
helps.
for the Magic Hat.
They say when it gets to 9 o'clock tomorrow,
The wait is over!
it's Magic Hat time. That will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Some final thoughts on the show today as we go through a couple things in the old notes.
I just put up a poll question, by the way.
Oh,
Tail
okay.
end, if you wanna do
Let me get to that in one moment.
Yeah.
I will acknowledge. Now, I was the guy who said it on the show yesterday, and I did not live up to what I said on the show yesterday, one day in. Although partially. I didn't watch a ton of the second game, but I did see that it was close and saw the ending of it.
Okay.
Quite a day yesterday.
Little dip of the shoulder, but that didn't fool Julian Alvarez. Lautaro Martinez sending it over. Enzo Fernandez. Can you believe this?
So that was the Argentina game. They scored 3 goals in the last however many minutes. Egypt is just screaming from the top of their lungs. This entire thing's rigged.
Yeah.
God's not on their side. Argentina is getting handed the trophy.
People are making funny posts. I don't know if it really happened, but they're banning Messi from ever being able to go to Egypt. It's illegal.
And I can appreciate that level of petty. That's kind of funny. I don't think he's desiring to go to Egypt right now, but just for the PR win, that's not bad. And then it led to Switzerland and Colombia.
This to send Switzerland through.
Yep.
And he does score! Ruben Vargas! And Switzerland head to Kansas City to meet Messi and Argentina.
So I joked yesterday on the show, USA's out. My interest is going to dip a little bit, and then I find myself after the show staring at the TV watching Argentina-Egypt because it's 2-0, and Argentina, has this great comeback. Now, again, I didn't see the whole thing we were running around in the afternoon, so I didn't see a ton of the Switzerland-Colombia game, but I did see the end. And now we get this, maybe there's been other days in the last handful of weeks we've had this. Not having a game today now does feel a little weird, does it not?
It's odd.
Like, we've had how many days in a row have we had a World Cup game? It feels like forever. There's been at least one.
And I get
straight month.
Yes, like every day.
I get it. We're down to the final few teams. You got to have travel time. You got to have rest. I totally get it. I'm not going to poo-poo the World Cup for that.
Well, and does this change it? So tomorrow's game is at 1 between France and Morocco.
Okay, now these are the
quarterfinals.
That's right, okay.
Yeah. Friday at noon, Spain and Belgium. Saturday, 2 o'clock, Norway and England, 6 o'clock, Argentina and Switzerland.
What's the best of the quarterfinal games?
I'm going to say Norway, England.
It's Holland against Harry Kane. Yeah.
That's a good game, yeah.
I don't know
now,
where else.
France and Morocco could end up being that because Morocco can score.
And France was not that impressive against a Paraguay team that was trying to beat the hell out of them.
That could be a game where you get a lot of up and down action.
Okay.
A lot of yellow cards from France in that game.
Yeah, a little feistiness.
Feisty,
got a little spicy there at the end of it.
I mean, here's the thing about the World Cup, man. You still have the premier guys. Switzerland is a good example. Like, how do they do their youth sports? I'd love to find out about Switzerland.
Right.
Do they charge their parents all of their money, or do they have like an open program like some of these other countries? Because if that's the answer, you kind of have your solution to our youth sports problem.
Hey, it works
in America.
there, and it works there, and it works there, and it works there, and it works there.
6 of the 8 countries in the quarterfinals are from Europe.
Yeah. Not shocking.
As to be expected.
And
I have enjoyed
one South American and one African. Is that right? Is that correct? Am I reading? Okay.
I have randomly enjoyed the U.S. women popping off on Pulisic.
Yeah, I mean,
I loved Carly Lloyd's cut. Like,
she's not wrong.
Get out of here. And Sydney Leroux, who won a World Cup with the U.S. women's team, was playing in the NWSL. She quote tweeted his thing because did you see his response yesterday?
No, I did not.
He was like, "Yeah, looking forward to resting. Got my ankle sprained." And she quote tweeted was like, "You rested the whole World Cup.
You didn't do anything."
Like they're going at the men now.
As they
publicly,
should.
And I quite enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Call them out for it.
Well, I ended up watching yesterday, so I'll probably, I don't know. We'll just wait and see how the weekend goes. I will have it on in times and places here or there, but it delivered again yesterday. I can't disagree with that. The product on both of those games was fantastic, and the drama that came all the way down to the wire on both of them. Delightful. Random tennis question for you. I'm trying to do happy wife, happy life. I'm watching tennis.
Playing a lot of tennis in my personal life right now.
Look at you.
My kids are into it.
Look at you getting into tennis.
Dude.
Huh?
Daddy Sprague, not bad at tennis, actually.
You put a sweater over your shoulders when you walk to the tennis court?
I don't.
Do you wear white shorts? You got to go white shorts?
I don't do the all-white thing. That signals a different tone.
About 6 inches up from your knees?
I do have shorter shorts.
Do you go
than
socks
normal.
halfway up the ankle?
I do not.
Okay.
No.
A little disappointed in that.
I do not.
So, a couple questions here. One, can you explain to me what a wild card is? Some guy from England's like the first wild card in the semifinals?
I'm going to assume that's an exemption to get into the Wimbledon because I don't know.
It would be similar to a sponsor's exemption.
Okay, well, there's a guy from England who's in the semifinal, and I saw that he's a wild card. I didn't know what that meant. Okay, he won. Second follow-up question. I know you had a little bit of experience doing this. One of my things when I watch tennis I can't look away from is the ball boys and the ball girls.
I was a ball boy once.
They are very captivating to follow, almost as much so for me as
Shut up
tennis.
and don't move.
Like, you just watching them stand there, and then the sprint in of like, oh, he's getting, no, I got to go. Like, just.
Yeah.
Would you be a good ball boy at Wimbledon? Could you handle the pressure?
So I ball boyed one time. We had in a tournament at the Rose Garden years ago. Agassi came. Anna Kournikova came.
I remember.
It was an indoor thing.
a big deal.
Very big deal.
It was actually the introduction of the Eagle Eye, the ball on the line replay.
Ah.
It was the very first time they had used it, and then they used it on the tour. That was a system that ball boying there, I had an opportunity to go ball boy at the U.S. Open at Flushing Meadows. I lived in a mobile home, couldn't quite afford it.
They weren't paying your freight?
No, they weren't going to pay your way, but they'd hook you up with rooms and
right,
whatnot.
once you got there, you just got to find a way to get there.
And so I didn't take advantage of the opportunity, and I wish I would have.
Yeah.
The problem was, I can also tell you, the sphincter level of being a ball boy.
It's got to be terrifying, right?
Because you have to be alert at all times to give the tennis player a ball, and half the time you can't tell, are they looking at me? Do they want the ball? Or are they just staring at me?
Right.
You can't make a damn sound.
No.
And I would never wanted to be a net guy. Because the net guy, you have to stay low.
You're on all fours the entire game. You're
bear
crawling
walking
around like a bear.
You're bear walking.
Yeah.
At least in the back, you grab the ball from him, hands
Stand
behind,
there.
stare straight, show no emotion on a point.
One of the funniest videos in the history of the internet is the kid who rammed his face into the wall, tripped over, smacks the wall.
Was that the French Open?
I can't remember where it was.
I feel like it was on
and
the red clay.
The tennis player turning around like, what the hell was that? But by the time he did, the kid was already like stoically standing there. It's like everybody from the other angle could see it. Trip and smack right in the face.
I think tennis and golf are both it's such an old sport, and it has its own ways of being an old sport. They need to get the stick out of the you-know-whats. I was maybe 13 or 14 when I did the ball boy thing. You would have thought I was a grown 45-year-old man the way we were talked to about being a ball boy.
Is there an age cutoff for ball boys? I feel like everyone I see is in their teens.
They usually